parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
This is the best I can do for embarrassing. Awkward, disconcerting, disturbing, flustering, uncomfortable, confusing, difficult, disagreeable, impossible, inconvenient, intolerable, troublesome, unpleasant, unwieldy,
Wow.
unsettling, degrading, demeaning, humbling, humiliating, mortifying.
Somebody's doing their homework.
That about sums it up. You want me to go on? I could probably do 3 hours of this.
No, I think you had me at embarrassing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. What have we become in Jacksonville, Florida? Brent Martineau, Austin Lane here on a Monday. Woo! Minshew magic, Minshew mania doesn't matter. Quarterbacks don't matter. Team, what does the team watch in the film room, and what do they practice, and what do they try to correct? Because can they really be this bad, this unfocused? Are they that undermanned? I've seen bad rosters in Jacksonville. I don't really feel like they're that undermanned, but Phillip Rivers picked on the linebackers, that's for sure. The secondary is getting picked on a little bit with the replacements. The depth there is not very good. It's a big drop-off. And I guess the biggest thing right now is this offense. 57 points over 5 games, and I don't think they have many excuses. They have a running back that's playing pretty well. They have offensive linemen they thought would be there and have stayed healthy. Actually, 7 of them that have stayed healthy. They have receivers that they kind of like and one that's had a breakout season. And they don't have tight ends. But they've got no excuses on offense to look this bad, other than the fact that their defense looks so bad it's hard to catch up. You have to be perfect on every drive. It's unbelievable in Jacksonville right now.
First of all, in my opinion, they have no excuses anywhere. Okay? The defense was horrible. The offense was horrible. Special teams, Logan Cook, probably player of the game. Anytime your punter is the player of the game, you should absolutely be embarrassed. It was just...
Best throw of the game, maybe.
Best throw of the game, probably. And here's what I was so adamant about. Here's what I was so adamant about last week. I said that Gardner Minshew is going to distract you from the real problem, and that was the coaching staff, okay? I said Gardner Minshew kind of offers that little bit of intrigue where fans are still going to come out and support because they want to see the new thing. You know, they want to see Uncle Rico and everything like that. They want to see that reincarnation. Very cool, because that sells tickets. Well, when Minshew doesn't play up to his best abilities, then what happens? People start to realize what's really going on. It's something I've been adamant for the past 4 or 5 weeks, and it's the coaching. And listen, my takeaway video last night, you could say it was the worst one ever, okay? I had people yelling at me.
It's a good plug.
I had people flicking me off. I had some guy grab my hair.
Did they think you were a player?
I have no idea, okay? But what I took away from that is the fact that people are upset. Okay, and I don't blame them. If you stayed for that whole game, and that's why I wasn't upset I got flicked off last night. You know why? Because if people actually stayed for that whole game, man, in my opinion, do whatever you want. Okay, I get punched in the face.
They should have brought tomatoes.
I get punched in the face for a living. It's to take a lot more to tick me off than a stupid finger. Okay, so I didn't really care.
Unless somebody busts your lip open.
There you go. Then it's on. But my point is, people are upset, Brent, and you don't have anything to cover the excuses anymore. You don't have Gardner Minshew. You don't have that mystique. All you have is what you get on the field, and you have the coaches to be responsible for that. And if you're Shad Khan right now, listen, I respect all those coaches in that locker room, okay? I think they're fantastic people. But if you're Shad Khan, number one, people want to hear from you, okay? People want an explanation because you stood up there a couple years ago and said this is going to be the hottest ticket in town. Well, guess what? We saw the attendance last night. It's not the hottest ticket in town, okay? So you were wrong there. But, and I get it, Shad Khan is not an X's and O's type of owner, and that's fine. More power to him. But if you're not going to be an X's and O's type of owner, if you're not going to come out and say we need to address things right away, then you need to make a change in the front office. Whether it's the coaching, the GM, or the vice president of operations, something needs to be done, man. Because every single time you put the same type of product on the field with the same players, with the same coaches, with the same front office, you're not going to get a different result. Your team is not good right now. And the fact that people so somehow blindly show up to these games, maybe expecting something different, more power to them, man. But if you're really worried about ticket sales, then show the fans that you're in it to win it and make a change. You have to.
It is unbelievable, really. I thought that there would be so much anger coming out of this one. I expected this one. I'm numb to it. Like, I really don't have emotions coming out of this one. Like, I thought that's probably what was going to happen. I thought these linebackers would get toyed with by Phillip Rivers. I know that Chargers team is way better than their record indicates. I mean, they've got a lot of talent. And what was there to hang your hat on other than, like you said, Gardner Minshew maybe Murphy's Law. So I shouldn't say I knew they were going to get beat 45-10. I actually predicted on Friday. I said, I think they'll keep this one closer, but they're going to lose. But the fact that it comes with embarrassment and all these big plays, and it looked like they were playing against air. I mean, they were playing against air, man. They averaged 9 yards a play. 9 yards a play. It was unbelievable. I mean, that would have been even more if they catch the 45-yard bomb, which should have been caught. So it's embarrassing. It's just you don't see it at this level. You know, Clemson the other night against Virginia, they pick off a ball in the end zone to start that game, and they went right down the field and, like, walked in, and you could tell it was men amongst boys. Well, that looked like men amongst boys. And, I mean, I try to be respectful to all the players, but that looked like men amongst boys. Like, on an NFL field, that should not happen. And it's looked that way for 5 straight weeks against teams that really you wouldn't even characterize as men amongst boys. This is not San Francisco or New Orleans or Baltimore, or even if you want to still give the Patriots love or someone like that, not even the Rams or Seattle, you know, like that game last night. That's not these teams that the Jaguars have lost to. So they've looked like that against an Indianapolis team that's lost 3 in a row. You know, Tennessee now actually does look really good. But it's just incredible. And you bring up the point. How can we be here right now at 3:08 on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 in Jacksonville and there not be a change of something? How can there not be a change? And listen, I understand. I've been back and forth on social media. I follow it all, and I get some of your opinions and thoughts too. No, I don't think it would save the season. It would not do anything for the season. But now you're embarrassing yourselves as an organization. This is 5 straight weeks. This is historically bad. This is the 25th season, a special season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is an historically bad season. It's the worst the franchise has ever looked over a 5-game stretch. We are bringing up the 1986 Bucks when we're talking about how historically bad this is in the NFL. And we know all these coaches are going to be fired at the end of the year. Make a change doing something just to at least catch the attention of some of those players in the locker room. And I don't only put it on Shad Khan. Tom Coughlin, this is your job, isn't it? Like, Tom Coughlin, your job is to make decisions on the football side of things. Why hasn't he made a move? I'm not even saying Doug Marrone, Todd Wash, a player. Have they cut a player that's like, we're tired of the way you're playing? I mean, anything. Just do something. I joked last night on TV, tell me I can't sit in my press box seat. I mean, do something to at least shake it up. Because right now it's just, it is what it is. And again, I'm not saying shake it up to get a win. I'm not saying shake it up to win 3 in a row. I'm saying shake it up to avoid embarrassment for the remainder of this football season. You have been embarrassed now 5 straight weeks. You are the worst team in the NFL by far. There are terrible teams in the NFL like the Bengals, like the Dolphins, like the Jets, like the Broncos that have all come out of their swoon, and they look like they would be a playoff team versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know where it went wrong. I don't, but it's wrong, and it's awful. And the Jags shouldn't be this bad. This is the NFL. So you've got to make a change somewhere, and the Jaguars haven't made a change, and I don't get that. And now, if Shad Khan wants to make the change, that's fine. That usually is the coach, the head coach, when he makes a change. But like I said, I mean, Tom Coughlin, and it's obvious Doug Marrone's sticking with his guys, and he's protecting. I mean, there's no doubt part of the disconnect in that building is Tom Coughlin against Doug Marrone and the staff. And so Doug Marrone said, hey, guys, we're huddled up, and I'm not firing you. I'm not letting you go. So then it's Tom Coughlin who has the authority in that building to say, Todd Wash, you're out, or whoever, you're out, and make a move. And there is no move being made. So nothing's going to change because everything they try to change in practice hasn't worked. I mean, I believe they're trying. I believe they're trying to give a good effort, although other people would say otherwise. I actually believe they are. I believe they're trying to fix things, what they look at film, what they try in practice, but it's not working. So even if you just change for change's sake, and I know it's coming in 3 weeks, that's fine, but I would say not even for the fans, not even for the people in the locker room, I would say for the franchise. For the franchise to save some embarrassment here over the last 3 weeks and at least look like you're trying to mix it up. Just mix it up with a player or a coach or something. I'm all in on that. I mean, I would be ready for that. I'm not usually the last person to say that stuff, but you've got to do this. This is so bad right now in Jacksonville, and there's no end in sight. I mean, it could be a lot worse in Oakland on next Sunday. I mean, that's a West Coast trip. Who the hell wants to go out west right now? Yeah. I mean, I feel a little sick. I'm almost hoping I get mono by the time I have to go out there on that trip. And I love going to Jags games. You know, I mean, I love covering the Jags. I win or lose, all that stuff. So who wants to go on that trip? And the players, it's going to be an emotional day out there in Oakland. It's only going to get worse. Can you just change something up for me?
And then that's the point. Because Doug Marrone, not doing a good job right now. Todd Wash's defense, not playing well. And John DeFilippo's offense, not playing well. So either it's a collection of things. But if you're Shad Khan, either look at it and say, you know what? We got to make a change on defense as a head coach in the culture in the locker room, or on the offense. And if those aren't the problems in your head, if the advisor's saying those aren't the problems, and maybe it's a talent issue, maybe it's a personnel issue, then look at the GM. But all I'm saying is you got to make a change, man, because you're about to be the laughing stock of the NFL. You want to forget the fans, forget everything else about it. Talk about your brand real quick. You have 3 more games, and if you don't do well in these 3 more games, you will be the laughing stock of the NFL. Guess what? You're traveling to Oakland this Sunday, and it's like their homecoming. It's like their going away party. It's Oakland's last game in Oakland. It's the Raiders' last game in Oakland. All eyes will be on that game. And the last thing you want to do is put on another performance like that. But guess what? Why should I think any differently, and why should Jaguars fans think any differently right now?
I would normally say it's a good thing Oakland stinks, so maybe they got a chance. It doesn't matter. They don't have a chance next Sunday. Nothing's changing here in Jacksonville. We'll be back, talk more about it. Minshew, what about him, man? Uh-oh, that's the tide turned on Gardner all of a sudden. Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Becoming partly sunny today, it'll be warm with an afternoon high around 80. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you've received a letter from the IRS and can't pay them, things can get bad quickly. The IRS can seize your bank account, garnish your wages, and place liens against everything you own. If this is you, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop IRS harassment is a no-cost consultation. They explain exactly your options and how they will resolve your tax issue. Only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you, and fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. Get the protection you deserve. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com. The number again, 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Hey, Bruiser, you ready to do the old holiday shopping routine?
Yeah, I got all the houses picked out.
Alrighty.
Hey, you know, I almost feel sorry for these folks.
Oh, don't go soft on me now. That's why they pay insurance.
Okay, so you promise those kids will just lose their bikes for a little while?
Yeah, I promise. Whatever.
All right, then let's sing our favorite holiday song.
Yeah. We're making our list, checking it twice.
Looking for houses with things that are nice. Bruiser and Browser are coming to town. We're filling our truck, we won't leave much.
Avoiding those houses at God's safe touch.
Bruiser and Browser are coming to town.
Crime does increase during the holidays. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Our new Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Our average response time is an incredible 14 seconds. Nobody can match our servers or our price. You have my guarantee on it.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Do you know a child that is deaf or blind? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students elementary through high school, no matter where you live in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdb.k12.fl.us to find out more.
If you're buying diamond jewelry this holiday season and you haven't shopped Beard's Diamonds yet,
stop before you pay too much.
Now through Christmas, you'll save an extra 20% off Beard's already guaranteed low prices, including loose diamonds. 20% off all diamond engagement rings, from solitaires to halos. 20% off all diamond bracelets, necklaces, and more.
Plus, get special financing, but only at Beard's Diamonds through December 24th in the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
There's a new sports medicine practice in Jacksonville.
Hi, my name is Stan Longenecker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grimsley.
I'm Dr. Michael Adams.
Ortho Edge.
We don't use PAs in my practice. We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients every time.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
And we'll continue to talk about Leonard, but he hammers people on Twitter. Heck, if Doug Marrone was on Twitter, he'd probably rib him too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's he can get away with it.
Catch Brent and Austin weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Give the guys a call. Grab your cell phone and call *690. This is ESPN 690.
Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why can't we score a single touchdown? Why do we have a football team in Jacksonville? Why does my voice sound like I'm from the deep south? These are the mysteries of life.
Hey, when you welcome calls on *star 690, you never know what you're going to get. I don't think that will become a song.
Especially those later games.
If it would become a song, it would be a country music song right there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Welcome your calls all the time on *star 690. Even today, *star 690, jump in live or 904-362-9901. I don't know where you're at. I think there are some people that were on the angry side, and I can't believe that side. I kind of got there, I think, last week. And to me, I was not, there weren't many emotions. I think I'm numb to it right now. I've been through this quite a bit around here and kind of numb to it. And I sat out there in the third quarter a little bit with my family, and I think my wife was actually the most upset. But even I've sensed like Ty and Kit, they were kind of numb to it.
Sure.
Just kind of somewhat expected. Mm-hmm. And then I did see some people at the stadium. They were like, hey, this is first time in 25 years I've left at halftime, like as I was walking up the stairs or down the stairs at that time. And, you know, you get a little bit of that. You want to go have fun at the stadium. It really hasn't been that fun. It was the worst setup ever for the Jags. They had 3 home games finally in December where you hope that it matters. They were 4-4. And then in the month of November, they did so poorly that those 3 games didn't even matter. And now it's become an added embarrassment to even be playing at home. Right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there's just nothing good about it. And I still don't understand how we can be here today in the afternoon and no changes. No changes. I think there was even some curiosity even in the building, and there always is around this time of year, but the media schedule didn't come out till this morning. A lot of times it'll come out like last night, and I might I'm totally guessing here, but maybe it was because it was a later game. It didn't come out till today. But I even wondered if they held it off a little bit just because let's see if the coordinators will talk on Thursday. Let's see if Doug Marrone will talk today on a conference call on Wednesday. Let's see if they make a change at QB, which I don't think they were going to do that. But Minshew talking, before they put it on a piece of paper. So, but nothing. And so now I think you're beyond that point at this time of day. I mean, it either happens late last night or early this morning most of the time. And, again, this isn't me like, holy, you got to, I'm just not that person. I just think you have to change something up. And that's what I really don't understand right now. I don't know what you change up and what it looks like, and it might mean absolutely nothing. I just feel like we know it's coming. So change something up at least just to save face. And I really want to lose by like a touchdown or less at some point the next 3 games.
Sure.
This is like you are a cupcake of the NFL right now. I mean, this is what the Dolphins were supposed to be all year. And now all of a sudden they look like they could beat half the teams in the league, and they would pounce the Jags right now.
Yeah. And listen, I agree with you here, Brent, where if you let a head coach, a coordinator go, it's not going to do anything on the field.
No.
Okay?
No.
I mean, maybe you promote somebody and they have a different philosophy, and maybe that changes things a little bit. But let's be honest. I mean, it's going to be more of the same. And from as far as an advantage of, well, do you get rid of Doug Marrone right now because you can go after your head coach right away? Not really, because it doesn't really make that much difference between 2 and 3 weeks. Even if you're going for a college guy, that window's not even open yet. So from that perspective, there's no advantage as far as firing the coaches right now, as far as the performance or bringing a new regime in. But it just shows that you care, in my opinion. It shows that you're willing to make a change because what you've been doing is not working. Simple as that. And listen, Brett, if you're a Jaguars fan right now, what are you clinging on to? And then this is a truthful question. I get it.
You're climbing a draft board.
Okay, but I'm saying you got Josh Allen. He looks promising. Juwan Taylor maybe a little bit, but he's an offensive lineman. No one really clings to offensive lineman. Let's be honest. And Leonard Fournette, I would probably say those are the only pieces. DJ Chark. And I still think Minshew too. I get it. It was a horrible game for Minshew, but
it wasn't horrible. It just was nothing. It was blah.
It was a horrible game by everybody. Yeah. Okay. But if you're a Jaguars fan, what are you optimistic about now? I mean, are you just to the draft? Is that where you're at right now?
Well, you're not optimistic. Okay. There's really not. I don't even think the Allens, Fournettes, Minshew's even, Charks, those. I don't even think it matters. I don't even think. I think now it's beyond even that point. So I could ride with that for the last few weeks.
Sure.
I wanted to see those guys like Fournette get the 1,000. I wanted to see Chark get to 10. I wanted to see Allen get the rookie sack record. But there's nothing. Listen, fans, you don't go into Sundays just rooting for like 2 guys to break a milestone and not just not lose by 30.
Yeah.
That's not what you do.
Yeah.
And so there's really nothing right now. There's nothing to hang your hat on. It's been a miserable month and a half. And now there's more curiosity of how much you really need to rip this up and what you have and what you thought you might have had in general on that 53-man roster.
And that's just my point, Brent. If you're a fan and you have nothing to cling to right now, no records to break, you're just over it, well, then what incentive is it to a fan to go enjoy the game anymore? Because you still got one more game, and I think it's like, isn't it Duval Appreciation or something like that? Which is so ironic, I feel like. But
I may have joked they should have flexed the game to London.
Savage. What was the response like?
I don't know.
Okay, you didn't even go into it.
They didn't get a call from the building yet, so that's good.
But I'm saying, what was the response on Twitter? Did you put it on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did people on Twitter say? They agree with you?
I think so.
That's where we're at now. If you do that during an 8-8 season, people would come after your throat. But now it's like, makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a lot of like, no, I want the game.
Yeah, I got you.
What they wanted is a reimbursement.
Okay, there you go.
So.
but this is my point, though, Brent. If you're a fan, you got nothing to hang on to. I think and I get it. We talk so much about the fans, but they're important, man. And Shad Khan has called them out before. So I'm having the fans back here. If you have nothing to cling to, at least show in good faith that you're willing to make a change. But
yeah, and again, we'll see if it happens. Let's get to Minshew a little bit too,
sure.
Because here's my problem with Gardner Minshew. I said this in the first 8 games, and I said it during the game in the first half before things even got ugly, and I continue to say it. And I saw Demetrius Harvey tweeted out the next gen stats, and if you look at the numbers, that's what my eyes were telling me anyway. Why do you think Gardner Minshew is afraid to throw it down the middle of the field? I mean, he had DJ Chark wide open one time down the middle of the field. I will say this about Foles. I mean, Foles lets it fly. He lets it go down the field. I'm not saying necessarily the middle, but he lets it fly, and sometimes it was the middle. But don't you get that feeling right now that Gardner Minshew is afraid to make mistakes, like he doesn't want to turn the football over? I mean, we're beyond that, man. I mean, I understand that from a quarterback perspective, but we've lived this too many times before. I think Mike Mularkey and other coaches told Blaine Gabbert to not make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. And that was so much in his head that he wouldn't just let the damn ball rip down the field sometimes because he didn't want to make a turnover, didn't want to make a mistake. I think Blake Bortles got to the point because he had made so many mistakes that there were times Nathaniel Hackett would say, don't turn it over, don't turn it over. Well, if you tell somebody to do that, that means you're playing scared. And I don't know if somebody's told Minshew to do that, or if he believes that's his best ticket to kind of securing this job moving forward is to not make mistakes because he's turned it over with the fumbles. Well, that's not the way to play football, man. I mean, I really think the way the Jags have played this last month is playing scared. We don't think we can run the ball, only give it to Leonard 8 times or 9 times. We don't think we can throw the ball down the field because our line can't block, so we have to throw it sideways on 4th and 2 behind the line of scrimmage to Leonard Fournette. I mean, you can't play this game scared. And right now, the Jaguars have nothing to lose. Like, let it rip. And if you throw 4 turnovers, then who cares? Let's see if we can make some plays would be my mindset. And I understand that's not the mindset all the time of other but you got to throw it down the middle of the field. Did you see those stats? I mean, you won't test the middle of the field. Yeah. It's like the hash mark. And if I know that, defenses know that. So they're not even concerned about it. They're not concerned about it at all. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah. No, you absolutely are saying that right. And listen, I don't know if Minshew's scared. I think Minshew has his preferences. I think Minshew locks on to receivers sometimes. And I'll say this, and listen, I'm not trying to make excuses here, but he is a rookie quarterback.
Absolutely.
This comes with time. I just didn't make an excuse, actually. I just call him rookie quarterback. So that's the definition of an excuse, but I just used it. But it seems like when he has more time, Brent, when he gets out of the pocket a little bit, uses his feet, well, then the whole field opens up to him a little better. It's almost like he thrives more in chaos than he does just, dropping back and trying to analyze the situation.
There's a little trust factor there. He'll escape quick because he doesn't trust it. I don't blame him. Nobody trusts the offensive line right now. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you could trust the receivers a little to make a play.
You can definitely trust your receivers a little bit and give them a chance. At least give them a chance. I agree with you there. But at the same time, I'm still going to roll with Minshew because I feel like he can make a lot more plays right now than Nick Foles can. Because honestly, I'm picturing Nick Foles back there last night without his mobility and take those 10 points away, maybe you got 3.
Yeah, well, because there were like a 3rd and 4 and a 3rd and 5, you ran out of there and got it. This conversation isn't necessarily about going back to Foles.
No,
it's just that, wow, man. I mean, at one time, I think about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, we said maybe they have 2 decent quarterbacks on the roster. How good are they? Now you start wondering, maybe they don't. I mean, because the quarterback play, Minshew or Foles, has been not good. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but I think that goes back to even Foles' conversation of saying there's more problems than just Foles, right? So there's one common denominator in the last 5 weeks, and there's a lot of probably common denominators. This defense has stunk, but the quarterback play has not been good. Now, you can give me 5 reasons why. Foles stinks, the offensive line stinks, the receivers are this, no tight ends, whatever. But the bottom line is the common denominator in the last 5 games, on top of the defense not being able to slow anybody down, is the quarterback play has not been good. And in the NFL, if it's not good, you lose. So I guess it's just put a lot of doubt in my mind going forward, and that's what these 4 games are supposed to be about. They're supposed to be about Gardner Minshew going forward, and that was one of them. And if he doesn't start stretching the field and he's going to throw it sideways, 162 yards for 24 completions, I don't care about the completion percentage. If you're throwing it backwards on 4th and 2 and not getting a first down, it doesn't do much for me. So I've seen that offense. You lived that offense. You played with Blaine Gabbert. That offense was in a 10-yard box, man, and it was brutal. And if you got 150 yards, that's all you were getting. Well, yesterday's offense for the Jaguars was that 2011 Jaguars offense with Blaine Gabbert. That's what it was. And it was non-threatening the entire time until they got a couple of 4th downs and a penalty that helped and got a touchdown late in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we want to throw the word optimistic around, and I get it, it's so hard to do on this Misery Monday, I guess we would call it. But if you want to be optimistic, I think this Raiders game will be very telling coming up because, number one, I think the thing with Gardner Minshew that he's been praised upon is the fact that he can rebound. He can learn from his mistakes and go on. Well, I get it. You're going to the West Coast. Jaguars traditionally have not played well on the West Coast, so that's a negative right off the bat. But I think you're going to have a Raiders defense that is very vulnerable in the passing game. And I think if any time came for a confidence game for Gardner Minshew and that Jaguars offense, this Raiders team is that team. Now, they could come out and they could put up 3 points. Who knows? I mean, listen, I don't have a lot of faith right now in this Jaguars offense. I'll be honest with you. But I think from a hype perspective, from a perspective of getting Gardner Minshew going a little bit and gaining some more confidence, I think this Raiders game could be the game if it was going to be anyone.
We have Tommy hanging on the line, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, this may be kind of out there to live, and let me know if I'm wrong, but it seems like Shad Khan's lack of any kind of interest is you maybe let the team get to be so bad that when he does decide to move, no one cares. I mean, it's almost like we're all going to be so fed up and so upset that if he decides to move, we're all going to go whatever. It's just, I don't know. I hope that's not the case, but you would think you'd hear something from him,
Yeah, Tommy, thanks, man. Appreciate the call. I get the thought. I get the thought on that, and I don't agree with it. I don't think. I think Shad Khan, I think Tony Khan, I think those they want to be successful. They want it to work. I do believe they've tried to make it work. They haven't been very successful. And I think from a talking standpoint, I think Shad Khan has a way of doing his business. And I don't think he wavers very much. I think consistency is important to him. And we've shared this before, even when it started going downhill for Doug Marrone. If you go back to the Gus Bradley firing, he did not want to do it in the season, did not want to do it if he even had an inkling of hope at the time. Now, I thought maybe last night or this morning, based on embarrassment and officially eliminated from the postseason, you could make a change somewhere. Again, it doesn't have to be with Doug, but it could be somewhere in the organization. And I don't know, that might be more on Doug. Like, Doug has to sign off on getting your coordinator out of there. Or this could even stem from last year. He didn't want to fire Nathaniel Hackett, I bet. And Tom Coughlin maybe made him do that, And maybe he's saying, I'm sticking to my guns here and I'm keeping my guys. You guys make the call if you got to make the call. So then Tom Coughlin needs to make a call or something. But I think Shad Khan's not the guy that is going to talk every week. Every 3 weeks. He's not going to pick a time to talk. He'll talk after the season, either release a statement or maybe he will talk to the media. I don't know. Would we like to hear from him more? I think the answer is yes, especially after these 5 weeks. But I also think I think everybody's talking about Shad Khan. This falls on Tom Coughlin and me too. I said to someone yesterday, I was like, well, what is Coughlin doing as the executive vice president of football operations if he doesn't ignite a change somewhere?
He's putting butts in seats, Brent. He's giving out stats, these obscure stats about punters and the youngest roster in the NFL, and he's getting butts in seats.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just as much. Right now, to me, I know how this works with Shad Khan, so I know he's not involved in the day-to-day and he's not making those football decisions until he has to. Yeah. And that's usually at the end of the year. Well, he hired somebody to make those kind of decisions the way they have this set up. And so I'm actually looking more at Tom Coughlin saying, when are you going to mix this thing up? When is somebody going to move and do something? And that, to me, my eyes are more on Coughlin than they are on Shad right now.
Yeah.
In terms of right in the immediate, right now. I'm talking the present. Now, Shad will eventually make the move in a few weeks.
Listen, and if you're Shad Khan, you have a lot of irons in the fire, man. I think all NFL owners have a lot of irons in the fire. That's why they're billionaires. That's why they're so successful, because they have more than one venture going on. Now, it's not rare for an owner not to come out and say anything when the team's doing really bad. And I get that point. I understand people want to hear from Shad Khan, and he's been silent. And what can Shad Khan possibly say right now to make you feel any better? See, that's my point, where words are cheap. Actions speak a lot louder right now.
And he knows that.
And if you want to make an action, then make a change, man. Yeah. Something. Make some kind of change.
I would agree with that. We'll take a break. We come back. We talk more Jags. ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Another miserable day to be a Jags fan as the home team was blown out by the hapless LA Chargers 45-10. Minshew didn't have enough magic, and there wasn't near enough defense to stop Austin Eckler and Phillip Old Man Rivers. Although Minshew might have the answer to the problem.
Those other games that we played, and we played good, and we won. So maybe we'll try to play good more
and play bad less. So
College football, the bowl games have been announced. It's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl for Florida State, the Orange Bowl for number 9 UF, and All-State Sugar Bowl for Georgia. The entire bowl schedule available at ESPN690.com. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you. As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too. And you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby Shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
New flavors and a rating that would make man jealous. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vita de Louis recently got a 98 rating. It's new, and it's getting rave reviews.
Made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jack's Beach. Vita de Louis is available in 3 flavors.
And those flavors are Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Try all 3. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste. For merchandise and more, visit VitaDeLouis.com.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team, with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
20% off. Bah, humbug. Don't get Scrooged this Christmas buying a diamond from anyone else but Beard's Diamonds.
Now through Christmas, you'll save an extra 20% off Beard's already guaranteed low prices.
That's on everything in the store, including loose diamonds. If you're popping the question this holiday season, now's the time to buy at Beard's Diamonds.
You can save thousands. 20% off, but only until December 24th.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
This season, our team will have the best defense in the league. For your home, the best defense is a fence from Armstrong Fence Company. When it comes to home fences, Jacksonville owners trust Armstrong Fence Company. Visit Armstrong-Fence.com. That's Armstrong-Fence.com. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest-growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
Hi, I'm Ryan Murphy, Olympic gold medalist. You're watching Action Sports Jax.
Yeah, instead of watching the game last night, I watched old reruns of SVU. Far less disturbing.
Not a bad idea.
Law and Order? Dun dun.
Hey, listen. You can jump in on star 690 904 9901. How do you fix it? How upset are you at it? Are you numb to it? Are you shocked they haven't made a change? Is Minshew still in your plans? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not off the Minshew bandwagon. I think this is all small sample stuff and not enough to buy into. And that will go for Foles, too. I mean, we now can say, you can tell me Foles is terrible and you don't like Foles and all this stuff, but I can tell you this, the rest of the team around him isn't very good either, and that's apparent. So, if we're going to give Minshew a pass because the rest of the team's terrible, I think we also have to give a little bit of Foles a pass, even if Minshew has looked a little bit more the part, and it's looked a little bit better and at least more eye candy on the field when Minshew has been out there running around rather than getting sacked and looking slow like Foles was. And that's really, I do go back to this a little bit. The defense right now is so terrible, like so bad, that I just couldn't believe the ease the Chargers had getting down the field. 2-play drives, 3-play drives, 45 yards, 30 yards, 37 yards. I had this math sheet going. And the first 39 plays, man, they had 23 plays. And this might not sound much to you, but this is the freaking NFL we're talking about. 23 out of 39 plays, which would be what? That's a 60...
Oh, don't go with the math, Brent. You know how I feel about math.
Something like a 60-something% rate, okay?
Take your word for it.
And they had 6+ yards on 23 of the 39. 11 of them were 15+ yards. That is amazing. Now, I could bore you with numbers and stuff to digest if you're listening, so I won't do that. But, some of the numbers were ridiculous. The 12 touches for 213 for Eckler, disgusting. 14 yards, I think, a pass for Rivers. I thought the linebackers were really going to have trouble with Rivers. He's a smart guy. He knows how to get the mismatch. And if you take the Chargers' offense and their weapons, Gordon and Eckler, that's tough for any linebacking crew. Forget about a guy who was on his couch 6 weeks ago in Donald Payne and a rookie who obviously has a lot to learn in Quincy Williams. Yeah. So I think some of it was predictable. They have now lost Miles Jack. They lost Telvin Smith. They lost Marcel Darius. They've lost Ronnie Harrison these last couple of weeks. Those are big blows, and there's some excuses there because they don't have a ton of depth, and now we can kill them for not having depth, but there's definitely a drop-off. My problem goes back to the offense a little bit. that even if you were losing 38-35 or 38-31, like, why can't you move the football more? Because you have all your offensive linemen. You have some weapons on at wideout. You have Leonard Fournette having a pretty nice year, and you have a couple of quarterbacks that at least you feel like you can do things with. So, to me, I guess my mind is more blown that the offense has been so miserable in these 5 games and looked so poor. More so than even the defense, even though the defense is the eyesore because they're giving up chunks of yardage. Mm-hmm. And the other thing they didn't calculate on defense is their front, along when Marcel Darius went out, their front is now just average. I mean, it's really bad. Like, I think if you talk to people, the trenches right now for the Jaguars on both sides are just brutal, and nobody anticipated that. See, that's the difference. Yeah. It's one thing if they anticipated they would struggle at the tight end spot because they knew they were a little thin. But nobody anticipated this kind of struggle in the trenches on offense or defense.
And to me, it's more on the defense because I think they've been the biggest disappointment of the year. And I'll be a man. I'll come out and say I was wrong, because when we broke down that Panthers game, that's kind of where it all started from, especially on their defensive line and their linebacking core. I came out and said, don't worry about it. It was one of those things. They'll adjust. They'll get it together. The coaches will hold them accountable, and they'll be fine. And for a little bit, they were held accountable, and they were okay. They shut down Alvin Kamara. They shut down Bell from the Jets. They shut down Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals. So they looked okay. But man, and to me, this Chargers game, it had it all. And it exposed them on every single level. Because if you go back to the Chargers, the opening drive, they told you what they're going to do. Melvin Gordon, their star running back, was not the starting running back of that game. Austin Eckler was. And they used the same jet motion that the Panthers did, and they used the same jet motion as the Titans did in their last game where they lost 42-20 to them. And that little jet motion, that little receiver in the backfield going one way, then going the other way, it has the Jaguars' number. And that's a result of, once again, bad fundamentals, but also I think a linebacking core who's just, they're not ready for the NFL, man. I hate to say, and listen, I don't want to call anybody out, but that linebacking core right now, not good.
Well, Quincy Williams plays one speed, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't recognize. And again, I told you this at the start. They didn't draft Quincy Williams to play and be a Pro Bowler in year one. Mm-hmm. This Telvin Smith situation threw him into a role that he wasn't ready for. This was more for 2020 when it comes to Quincy Williams, in my opinion. But there are people, I think, close to the Jags that said that were ready to close their eyes on Sunday because they knew Quincy would bite on some of these plays. And the Hunter Henry play is kind of that kind of play, where somebody's going the misdirection, creates a wide open receiver, and they knew that play was coming. You just got to keep your fingers crossed that Quincy or the linebacking core in general reads those plays right. But they knew it was coming, man. Yeah. And that's youth, that's inexperience. Maybe it means they're not good at all. I don't know. But I think it's a little early on Quincy. He's just going to have to get a lot better in a hurry for the Jaguars if he's going to make that third round pick look any good.
Yeah. And as far as the defense is concerned, it says a lot about your system when you lose your starting linebacker, maybe you lose a safety here or there, and you plug and play guys. And when you plug and play guys, it just all goes to hell. That shows you what kind of system you have. Because the good defenses, Brent, the fundamental discipline defenses that can make it to the playoffs, that can be a backbone of NFL teams, when guys get hurt, because it's the NFL and guys will be hurt, when guys get hurt and you plug and play somebody, they don't miss a beat. And that's what makes a good defense from a mediocre defense or just to an absolute terrible defense. And right now the Jaguars are terrible defense. And it's not just one thing, it is the collective. But this offseason, there's going to be a lot of changes. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are probably not going to have a job, unfortunately.
Wow, there's going to be everybody. I mean, I just don't know who survives this thing. Again, the great mystery when it comes to the Jags in terms of changes is there's really no inner circle for Shad Khan. Like, there's nothing leaking out. They've done a great job of that. He does a great job of that. There isn't, like, rumors, and so you have no idea what Shad Khan's going to do. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people over the last couple of weeks. They have no idea. And some have hinted of things that would floor you just as their read. Like, it wouldn't surprise them if. And I'm going to stick with what I said. I think this is going to be a clean sweep. Everybody gone, refresh, restart on the front office and coaching staff. Now, the players' side, I don't think so. He's not going to get rid of everybody.
You can't afford to.
Not only that, but I think they do have enough to work with there. Now, how much and what spots and whoever comes in here and how they read that'll be up to them.
Yeah.
And we can debate that. And we have months in the offseason to debate, okay, who's going to be here and all those things. But I still believe, and I think this is adding up even more so to show that it will be, we can't survive like this. And it'll be everybody gone and a new start. Which really, we were looking at this. Jaguars have not had an absolute restart many times in their organization, which will surprise you. And what I mean by that is everybody. So obviously the organization was born, and in their first season, Tom Coughlin's running the show and pretty much running everything at that time. And then he gets fired in the early 2000s, and you have Shaq Harris and Jack Del Rio. And then you end up giving way to Gene Smith in the Jack Del Rio day. So that wasn't a sweep. That was Shaq Harris is gone, Gene Smith's promoted, but Del Rio stayed. And then you had Malarkey replace Del Rio with Gene Smith. So then really that third one that was a sweep of just get everybody out of here and start again was that year they hired Gus Bradley and Dave Caldwell. And even this time around, although it kind of felt like one, well, Dave Caldwell stayed. And Doug Marrone was there, and Wash was kind of there. So it wasn't just this, all right, everybody's gone and bring this in. It was a new structure because Tom Coughlin came back. So really, if you think about the 25 seasons of the Jaguars, they've only kind of fully hit the reset button. I'm telling you, everybody pack your bags. We are disinfecting this building and we're bringing new stuff in. That has only happened really 3 times, and one of those times was the start of the organization. So I think that's what we're going to get here, and I think it will happen at the end of the year, end of the season. I would just go back to what I said at the top of the show. I'm a little surprised they haven't mixed anything up. Even from a player standpoint, I was trying to think about this today. Sometimes, like the Dallas Cowboys today, cut the kicker. Okay, and
Maher,
that. And by the way, they did it in an awful way, much like David Garrard situation. He was at a community event at a children's hospital, and as he got back on the bus, they told him he was cut. Nice job, Dallas. But at least they're mixing something up. They're not sticking with their kicker. They've been awful. They're terrible. They're still in the mix. They're mixing up. They're not firing Garrett. A lot of people want Garrett done, but they're staying with that because they're in it. I think that's the mentality of ownership most across the league. Say, hey, as long as we're in this thing, it's not going to benefit me to fire the coach. The hope is they respond to him sooner or later. They figure it out. They get on a little bit of a run. He knows them. They know him. And whether that's right or wrong, that's usually how most people think in the NFL. And Dallas is still in the middle of it with 3 games to go, even though their record's terrible and they're playing terrible. So they changed the kicker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a guy the Jags could say, all right, see ya. That won't be here. That's really playing poorly. And I guess it would be all those backup guys. So that's not going to be an impactful.
And keep in mind, Brent, they have one of the youngest rosters right now. They have one of the youngest core players in the NFL. So let's keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. So they're not going to if you get rid of Wingard or Donald Payne or someone like that, you're not going to do it. So therefore, it does go to the coaches. If you're going to make the move, it's got to be Todd Wash. It's got to. Wash is really the easy target in all of this because of what the defense has looked like. These last handful of weeks. At least. Some people would say Marrone, but I'm just saying and by the way, for everybody who tells me, well, who's going to take his place? Who do they have? Who gives a crap who takes his place?
Doesn't matter.
Who cares? You're not trying to save the season. I don't care if Tom Coughlin comes down and coach. I don't care what happens. I'm just saying change something for change. I like Todd Wash a lot. I'm not rooting for him to lose his job. I'm just saying somebody change something up, and I'm trying to find the most logical piece to change something up. And I don't care if I have to go coach the defense.
I think it would be logical where you let Todd Wash go, then you let Dom Capers take over.
That's fine.
Whatever. Yeah.
But if you let Doug Marrone go, you could have Dom Capers take over. You could have Joe DeCamillis take over. You could have Flip take over. This is not like a reward. Hey, you're really great. You've done a great job. They all stink right now.
Yeah, and staying on the defensive side of the ball here. This is what makes me nervous going forward now because I get it. You're going to clean house. And you look at who they have right now on that roster, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but what else? Do you want me to break down what the Jaguars did wrong against the Chargers? Because I can get into how the scheme was bad and how Hunter Henry tore him apart and how Mike Williams tore him. I can get into it. I don't think anybody wants to hear it. I'd rather think of the future a little bit. But
hey, Kuz, my favorite part, by the way, of Austin is yesterday in the press box, he's like, what am I supposed to say about this in my 3 takeaways?
Yeah.
I'm like, Austin, welcome to my world for the last dozen years.
Yeah.
Try doing 10 TV shows a week, 5 radio shows a week.
Yeah. I joked with him.
Instead of a 3-minute takeaway. That's what you're left with. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I was joking that Will would just take his voice from last week's video, and instead of saying the game, we'll just have him voice over last night's game instead.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I echoed everything I said last week, so you're not really missing much except someone pulling my hair and another lady flicking me off. So
apparently, we got to see this though. The video's worth seeing on YouTube. Maybe not listening to, but seeing.
Man. Yeah, it's all right.
So it's on our Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 channel, also on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But you got to go check it out because you ran into some characters. It sounded like
I
on
said,
the way out.
People are passionate, Brent. You can call it people were drunk or people were passionate, but they wanted to be heard.
I'm just trying to figure out why she was flipping you off. Like, I don't know what the thought process was.
I have no idea, man. I've never met that girl in my entire life. I thought it was an ex-girlfriend or something. No, it was just some random girl who must have thought that I played that game, and then somehow I changed from my pads, put my street clothes on, and did an interview. Yeah. But my point going forward there with the defense real quick, Brent, is Marcel Darius probably not going to be here next year.
No, he's $22 million.
Calais Campbell, we'll see.
No, Calais is gone unless he takes like a pay cut and wants to stay in Jacksonville.
Which probably wouldn't want to take a pay cut. We'll see. We'll see. But
he's probably not getting $15 million anywhere.
But my point is, outside of Myles Jack, who else are you really clinging on to right now to lead that locker room? And I know you can say Yannick Ngakoue, but you're not paying him like a leader. So if as far as I'm concerned, Jan's not a leader right now because you're not paying him like one. So all you have right now on that defense going forward is Myles Jack. Everybody else,
my favorite guy on that defense right now, and I'm not saying from a play standpoint, is Avery Jones because he just says it how it is. We'll hear from him coming up a little bit. We'll also get around the league a little bit. NFL's really interesting right now. These last 3 weeks to go. A lot on the line. Really some good battles. I mean, what in the world? You know what infuriates me? Freaking Tennessee Titans.
Hey. Are you ready to start believing them yet or not? Because I've been saying it for the past 6 weeks and you haven't bought into them yet. Are you buying into the Tennessee Titans now?
I hate the Titans.
Are you buying into the Tennessee Titans now, Brett?
Next on ESPN 690. I'm never welcome in Nashville.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you got to go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. Now it's only $15,581. That's $15,581 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Got to have a 2019 Toyota RAV4? It's not $22,925. No way. Now it's just $19,481. Just $19,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 XLE at Arlington. Plus, you're going to get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyotathon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
Pittsburgh will return to the Nationals. ESPN's Jeff Passan reports the sides agreed on a 7-year, $245 million contract, highest deal ever for a pitcher. Bengals coach Zach Taylor said the NFL is investigating whether somebody from the Patriots was videotaping the team's sideline during yesterday's game in Cleveland. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the incident involves a Patriots scout being filmed while working for a team feature. Video crew credentialed by the Browns. Apparent lack of communication, though, with the Bengals. New England at Cincinnati Sunday. Meanwhile, the Patriots, with their sputtering offense, have lost 2 straight, and that's cause for concern, says Bill Barnwell, host of the Bill Barnwell podcast.
It's not like it's been one bad game or even a bad month. It's been over 2 months of this offense really struggling. And I think it's not Tom Brady necessarily. I think he is not playing his best football. He missed some throws. That 4th down pass to Julian Edelman comes to mind in the first half of the game. But the offense around him is a mess.
Bill Barnwell on Game Night.
This holiday season, Dodge's gift to you is Dodge Power Dollars. That means $10 off every horsepower of your new 2019 Charger and Challenger. So hurry into the Dodge Big Finish event today and end the year with a great deal.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Danny at the beach. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment. Tom Coughlin, he's a joke. He needs to hang it up, go retire at the beach, drink his coffee, and do whatever old people do. Sick of it. Waste my money every year down there. Spend $10 on a wiener. Sorry, guys. Danny at the beach.
Do whatever old people do. What do old people do, Brent?
Apparently I'm old. I drink a lot of coffee. I'll tell you what, if I was Tom Coughlin right now, I'd be drinking more than coffee.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'd be drinking a little Vita de Louis tequila.
And now we're talking.
I don't know if old people, young people, whatever do that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'd be doing.
Yep.
Kind of like that call. Star 690 is the number if you ever want to jump in live, or when we're not on air, you can leave a voicemail, 904-362-9901. Okay, it's the age-old question when teams suck and when they look as bad as the Jaguars. And this has, by the way, happened quite a bit over the last decade. The first thing fans say, the Jags have quit. Doesn't even look like they're trying. Doesn't even do that. And you know what?
I cringe just when I hear that, Brent. You know,
you do. And actually, to be honest with you, I do. I'm a defender of the players on this. I don't think what people don't understand is, like, if you – it's really hard to – this is why it's hard to relate. Because if you were going to get fired in your job in 2 weeks, you probably wouldn't do much for the company.
Yeah.
Right? You'd probably mail it. You'd probably mail it in.
It's like the last week of school, man, when you're a senior.
You'd probably mail it in, all that stuff. I mean,
you think I don't do a lot now? If that were the case.
But what you got to do, if your next job depended on how you looked in those 2 weeks,
sure,
you might think about it differently, even though you're pissed off and all that stuff's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's where I come down and say the players know that. It's bigger than that. Now, again, I think there's a big difference between effort and focus. I think it's easy to sleep in meetings right now. I think it's easy to not pay attention in meetings right now, and how much they're cracking the whip on those things, I have no idea. But I think you can I think you can lose focus. That's different than effort. You cannot play that game on Sunday afternoons without effort very often. Now, some people do it. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. But to collectively not have effort, I think is a dangerous thing, and I don't believe it happens in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, when I played, Brent, that was my biggest pet peeve, right? Because set aside from my first year when we went 8-8, the rest of the years here in Jacksonville, they were no bueno. They were not good. And the thing that, and I know hate's a strong word, but the thing that I hated the most of media members or fans even in general. And thank God I didn't listen to your radio show back in the day, because if you would have said that Austin Lane looks like he quit out there, we probably would have had an exchange in the locker room. Okay, I'm just saying. What do you want? You're gonna say something? He's got his bat ready to go.
It's actually your bat.
Well, it is my bat, yeah, that I earned, in a loss against the Patriots.
It says violent, physical, and relentless.
Yeah, quick story with that. So back in 2012, we got a baseball bat. We're getting ready to take on the New England Patriots, and we all got bats before the game. And then we lost, and I had to carry that bat out like a winner. So it was super awkward.
You did.
But I still have it, man.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Everyone gets a
trophy. Even in the NFL, apparently.
Everyone
you
gets
lost
a
the
trophy.
damn game, and you still got a trophy out
Well,
of it.
hey, because I got it because I was violent, physical, and what was the last one? I can't remember what it says. Violent, physical, and...
relentless.
Relentless. There you go. Nice adjectives there. But getting back to my pet peeve, is when people say that a team just quit.
Okay, but do some players quit? You've played. You've been around.
Teams, no, absolutely.
You guys went 2-14.
Oh, absolutely. But and listen, I can only speak for myself because I'll be honest, I didn't watch the last game of the season when I think it was in Tennessee. Didn't watch that game, but I guarantee if you go back and watch me play, I didn't quit. And I think the guys that I played around, the defensive line, the linebacking core, anchored with Puzz and Darryl Smith. I think Russell Allen might have been out there as well. Those guys didn't quit.
Yeah,
because pride's a strong thing, number one.
Yeah.
But we understood, and it was made abundantly clear by the leadership, not only in that locker room, but also the coaches, where you are what you put on film. But let's be honest, this is going to be blown up at the end of the season. Like, the writing was on the wall. Mike Mularkey was probably going to be fired. New coaching staff was probably coming in. Maybe a new GM. We'll see what happens. There was a lot of new stuff coming in, and we knew we probably weren't going to be there. I mean, it is what it is. And our only chance, our only glimmer of hope for a lot of players in the locker room was putting good film out there. And I guarantee Avery Jones, I guarantee Calais Campbell, Chris Conley, Nick Foles, all the other vets in that locker room are echoing the same sentiments right now, where it's like, let's be honest, next year it's going to be completely different. Half of us probably won't be here anymore. And if you want a job in this league, because it's few and far between, and if you're lucky to get another shot, it's going to be because you put good film out there. So from that perspective, no one is in the huddle saying, hey, guys, let's just go ahead and take this play off here, right? We all agree? No one is doing that. Nobody is quitting. Now, yes, maybe some guys are tired and they make quote-unquote business decisions. We saw Jalen Ramsey make a business decision when Mark Ingram came to the hole, and Jalen Ramsey said, I'm all good, okay? There's business decisions all the time in the NFL, but there's a difference between a business decision and quitting on your team. And I don't think guys right now in that Jaguars defense, offense, or special teams, they're not quitting. Yeah. They're just not playing well.
And I don't buy it, and I actually get a little offended for you guys or for the players when people say that, because – again, it's a game that I wouldn't play. I couldn't play. And so for me to say that guy's quitting, now it can look really bad, and it's looked really bad. And I get why it looks that bad, but I just don't buy that. I really don't. And so I think it's just a disrespect to the players. They've got a lot of problems right now. Mm-hmm. And there's a big – listen, they call it the ultimate team game.
Yeah.
And if 2 or 3 guys are just so far off the page, we see what we saw yesterday. Yep. And when you can't find it, I mean, it's like they are grabbing a rope and they cannot grab it. And on both sides of the football, that whole team is reeling in a bad way. And I just don't – I don't like to say they're trying, because that means nothing in our world, like on radio and to the fans. But I also do believe they're trying.
Yeah.
And it also makes it epically bad that they are trying. Yeah. I think they are giving effort, and they're this bad in the NFL.
And you brought it up, Brent. I want to drive this point home real quick. The people listening in their car watching us, on our streams, if you take nothing away from the segment where we go, the wall that says it all, if you take one thing away from that segment, I want you guys to take away that when one guy, just one guy, doesn't do his job on offense or defense, the whole thing blows up. Sometimes you're lucky, and sometimes maybe you can, cover that mistake.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, but sometimes you can. And if you want to go back to that Chargers game, it wasn't the whole team. I mean, it was a guy here, a guy there, and that's what made the difference, man. And that's the game of football. It's one guy not doing his job, being on the same page. That can make a difference between a tackle for loss and an 80-yard, run or whatever like that. And I can't reiterate this enough. And you can call this a TED Talk to my people in media here, or a TED Talk to Jaguars fans. If you go up to a player and say he's quitting, I get it. It's maybe you're saying that the team quit, but that player takes it to heart because now not only are you questioning his abilities to perform his job, but you're also questioning himself as a man. And that's the last thing a player wants to be questioned at is them being a man. Just saying.
Kuz, we have Avery Jones talking about this kind of topic. He gets it. He's been around, right? He knows the banter that goes on. He knows how bad it looks. This is as bad as it's looked in Jacksonville, quite frankly, ever in a 5-game stretch. Do you believe that? This looks worse than 2013, worse than your team in 2012. Yeah. You know, I looked back yesterday, by the way, your team in 2012 lost 3 overtime games. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
3 OT games. Wow, you could have been 5-11.
Spoiler alert, not fun overtime games when you're losing them, okay?
No. Extra time
fun to be
losing is not good.
Yeah.
That was when the format was a little different, too. I think it was a 15-minute session now instead of a 10-minute session. Yeah. All right, Kuz, Avery Jones on this topic of quitting.
We got to fix that. I mean, to the outside world, that just shows a team that doesn't care. People run around wide open and you're at home and stuff like that. So, I mean, I never want anybody to think or the fans think we don't care. I mean, we're deeply rooted in this with everybody else. I mean, clearly it's on our backs and we're not playing good enough. So we got to figure something out to, you know, it's dead in here. I mean, pretty much everybody taking showers to get away. So, I mean, we got to do something.
That guy's as real as they get now, Avery Jones. I really appreciate his thoughts. I mean, he nailed it. I mean, that's what it is. It's a dead football team because there's no juice. You know, they thought Minshew would bring them some juice. It didn't. All right, one last question. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and talk more. And maybe let's switch over to some college football with what went down with all the bowl games, too. But I tweeted this out today. This must be the most miserable experience of all to watch the film on a Monday. I mean, like, it's one thing to live it.
Yeah.
It's another thing for people to pay to see it. But it's one thing to go live it and then have to watch it again and then be embarrassed. Like, those young guys that are making a ton of mistakes is what I believe is happening the most. I mean, everybody's making mistakes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for guys like maybe it's Donald Payne, Wingard, Quincy Williams, holy cats.
Yeah.
That must be... So like somebody get me the flu so I don't have to report to work today.
So there's a reason why I'm laughing here, and you're absolutely right. In terms of being a professional NFL player, one of the worst parts of the job, I mean, obviously getting let go is probably the top one, but a close second is when you have to come in and watch film after a horrible game. And I'll never forget, this was my rookie year, and we played Houston. This was the game with Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
He had the Hail Mary. Well, that was one of my very first starts, and I played a horrible game. And I knew, oh, man, like, we won, and so that's great. You're pumped up for that, but you still got to, and you got to sit in front of a team where the whole team is watching, and you got to have, Del Rio point you out, like, hey, what are you doing here?
So is that what happens to the whole team, or is it just the defensive side? What is it?
So it changes throughout the season. I mean, and every coach does it differently. Usually the way it works, when a team is struggling, a coach will have the entire team watch the film because that way everyone gets held accountable. Because, you know, when you have a defense that's playing well and maybe an offense that's playing bad, kind of like we had back in 2011, we watched it as a team. And we know, all right, there's offensive players making the mistakes. This is why we're not succeeding on offense. So from that perspective, I'll never forget my rookie year. I'm just like, I'm still a rookie, man. I'm just like, man, I don't want to watch this. And all my mistakes happened in the second half. And we're talking mistakes, okay? We're talking Arian Foster have a field day. Whoever had Arian Foster in fantasy football, you're welcome that day because that was on me.
Thanks.
So you're welcome, Coos.
Do you still get a Christmas card from Arian Foster?
I might as well be, man. But all things considered, so one of the worst games of my life, and it all occurred in the second half. So I'm sitting there going through the first half, and I get it, we won, so everyone's in a good mood. I'm just like, and all of a sudden we get to halftime, and Jack's like, all right, that's good. We all know what happened in the second half. Let's go out there and practice. And dude, I literally, yes, literally, it was like I was on death row, and all of a sudden, someone called the electrician's like, you know what? He's not guilty. Get him off the stand. He's good to go. Don't electrocute him. He's good to go.
You got pardoned.
Oh, I got pardoned, man, and then the last second. But and listen, we're laughing here, but I'll be truthful. When you lose and you play like you did against the Chargers, it's going to be a bad day.
Well, the good news for whoever that is they've got company.
Yeah.
It wasn't one.
It's not one person.
I mean, but
that
I
helps.
can only imagine, man, seriously. I mean, I know you got to be held accountable.
Sure.
But you must just shrink down in your seat.
Oh, and it happens in training camp. Anytime
because, by the way, these guys aren't making one mistake.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of them.
And anytime you get put on your back, even in training camp, someone decleats you, you're going to see it, and you have to live through it.
That's interesting you said, though, about the offense-defense like 2011, because that's also how you can create a little animosity if you're all watching it together and it's all the offense's fault.
Well, but I'll say this, though. You can create animosity, but I think it's better to see it as a team as opposed to just watching your defensive cuts and be like, whoa, the offense sucks. Yeah, well, what happened? You know, at least like you have some kind of answer instead of just speculating and speculating.
I get it.
Because the eye in the eye doesn't the eye in the sky doesn't lie.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes more sense now to me. When we come back, let's talk a little college football. We'll get away from the Jags for a bit. Who's going to win the national championship? Then we'll get back to the Jags, don't worry, and other things in the NFL. Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Becoming partly sunny today, it'll be warm with an afternoon high around 80. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jax. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less. 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
It's a celebration you won't want to miss. The 75th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on Thursday, January 2nd, 7 p.m. at TIAA Bank Field. This year's matchup will feature a team from the SEC pitted against an opponent from either the ACC or Big Ten Conference. Let's fill the bank and pay tribute to 75 years of Gator Bowl history. Special anniversary offer includes 4 game tickets, a parking pass, and game program for only $75. Package is now on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
There are many challenges facing small business owners, from financing your operation to hiring the right people. Where can you go to find possible solutions? The Jacksonville chapter of SCORE offers workshops on various topics relevant to running a small business. Subject matter experts lead these workshops, most of which are free or at a nominal cost. If you're interested in attending any of the 120 workshops being held this year, go to the Take a Workshop tab found on our website, jacksonville.score.org.
We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker dazzles this Christmas. Bring the whole family together for the original holiday tradition. Step into a simpler time filled with sweet dreams and spectacular magic. Experience world-class artists, stunning costumes, and towering puppets on the Gift of Christmas tour. It just wouldn't be Christmas without Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker. Get tickets now at nutcracker.com.
Appearing at the Florida Theater December 22nd. Get your tickets today at nutcracker.com.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
I don't know what would make him think I would care about it. I don't give a damn whether I'm blocked on Instagram or not like I tried to Instagram him directly. Anybody thinking about trying to post something on his page?
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Chris Berman, and every time I come back to Jacksonville, I listen and watch Action Sports Jax.
Obviously, the season just ended. Our goal was to go to the SEC championship and win it. That was one of our goals. We're going to be on the road recruiting. I'm sure I'm going to think about it this week, but we're not done yet. That wasn't our final destination. I'm very proud of our offense. I'm very proud of our defense and all our coaches, but we still have some work to do.
Eddie O, SEC champs. I'm working on my voice getting like Eddie O's.
I thought that was a caller calling about the Jags. I'm like, that sounds like Eddie Orgeron. I'm like, got it. That is Eddie O. Okay, never mind.
That was Eddie O saying, Jags, you should take Joe Burrow, baby.
There we go. I love that guy. I really do.
Again, the best thing about Eddie O is his record now against big teams. You talk about a big game coach. I think big game coaches, I think of a guy like Urban Meyer. He was so good in those big games against rivals and everything else. And Eddie O's record, I think, is now up to 11 or 12-3 against top 10 teams or something.
I remember when they ran Les Miles out, and I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
I almost ran Eddie O out, I think, like a year and a half.
Was it a year and a half or a season and a half where he looked pretty rough?
It was bad.
And now, they're on top of the world.
It's just amazing how the QB changes everything. And obviously Burrow has changed. Now, listen, they've changed. They've changed their philosophy. They grew too. But he is so good. And you talk about a guy in command, right? I mean, it's sometimes so evident with a guy that knows the offense. Right? Brady, we've watched for 2 decades. He just mastered their offense and like the NFL. Peyton Manning was like that. That's what it wasn't like the physical tools about Peyton Manning that was fun to watch. It was him orchestrating.
Yep.
Well, Joe Burrow, it's like the physical tools are okay, whatever. He runs a little bit. He's good, but he's orchestrating that offense at such a high level. And I almost forget he was there last year. So now he's got some comfortability there. To me, that's what's fun to watch when guys really get it and they know what to do on every play.
Is he Tom Brady? Wasn't that what was it Gary Danielson doing the game?
Yeah.
Saying that he was actually better than Tom Brady or I don't remember what he said.
Yeah,
but Danielson. He made a comparison to Brady. I was like, well, let's wait on that for a minute.
I like Danielson, but on the SEC, and I know it's the good old boys in the SEC, but they might have to start getting a little younger in the booth.
And listen, and you can't say enough about Ed Orgeron and the fact that he saw what he had and he was willing to adapt to it, right? Because LSU for the longest time, they were a run-first team. They're almost like a Big Ten team. They had great defenses, run the ball first, pass the ball second. And maybe that's a lack of quarterback talent or whatever it was, but that was their MO. And then all of a sudden, here comes Eddie Orgeron. He wants to change the whole thing up. And I think it was met with some scrutiny a little bit, but it's paying dividends, obviously.
Well, you have to be comfortable in your own skin, too, because then you go out and he hired some great offensive-minded coach. I forget the name. But
Brady, yep.
Yeah, to basically.
That Brady.
Yeah, that Brady. Different Brady. That's right, exactly. So, that takes, confidence to do that because,
this guy could be your replacement if you're not careful.
Well, they got the Final Four, and I think they got it right. And it's, sure, I think it favors LSU to play Oklahoma. Bottom line is you're going to have to win 2 good games. I mean, I think Oklahoma will be by that time good enough to go toe-to-toe with LSU. It's a one-game thing. I know they'll be heavily favored. I think everybody will pick LSU. I probably will too. But I don't think it's going to be a runaway. I just think Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma, they got enough experience. Jalen Hurts has enough experience. Their defense has figured some things out. I think it will be a much closer game. Everybody kind of framed it as there's 3 good teams and then the one. Well, it's not Utah. It's Oklahoma. And there's a big difference there. So either way, you got to win 2 games. It's a good Final Four. I mean, the Final Four is good. I would have liked to see a Utah or someone else, but they certainly didn't earn it. They blew their chance, and they weren't good enough. So the teams that weren't good enough didn't get in. I think the teams that earned their way, like Baylor would have been fine too. I thought Baylor went toe-to-toe. But they would have been on like the third quarter. The whole 3 quarterback thing would not have been beneficial. The newness of being in the Final Four, I would have said LSU probably will boat race them. But this is a good Final Four, I think, in college football.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about LSU, Oklahoma, you got 2 offensive juggernauts going head to head, and it's like I was kind of said against the Georgia game with LSU. I just think LSU's offense is just so high powered that nobody can keep up with them. It doesn't matter what kind of defense you play. But the other side is really intriguing, Ohio State and Clemson, because, Ohio State the whole year has been number 1. Rightfully so, in my opinion. And I get it. They played a bad first half against a very hungry Wisconsin team. Wisconsin came out, punched them in the mouth a little bit, but guess what? Ohio State responded to adversity, and Wisconsin couldn't match. So I think that says a lot more about their team than as if they came out against Wisconsin and just blew the doors off them. So I think what you have with Ohio State.
Dang, I thought your Badgers had it, man.
I know. Hey, who you telling, man? I know. I know. I was
Did you
ready
really
to
think it, though? Like, even at 21-0, I was like, this is going to turn.
Yeah. But it went 14-7, and then Wisconsin marched right down the field and scored. It was 21-7. And when it was 21-7,
that's right.
You were like, wait a minute. But then they make this, every time when you're an underdog, and Alabama made this happen to everybody. When Alabama was the favorite, and when someone was knocking on their door and like, hey, we're here to play today, a special teams mistake would happen. And Wisconsin had the special teams mistake, and that allows the other team to come steal that possession. It's really you that needs to steal that kind of possession as an underdog. And when the favorite does it, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's when, to me, that's when it was over.
Listen, when Jack Cohen scored 2 touchdowns, was breaking guys' ankles, I'm like, oh, Wisconsin's winning this game because I'm seeing something I've never seen before on a Jack Cohen right now. But it's a testament to what kind of team Ohio State has. And Chase Young didn't have that good of a game. Like, their star defensive end.
Until the last series.
He was held in check, but Ohio State's a solid team, and more props to him. But the biggest question to me, and this is going to be a great game, Clemson, Ohio State, because
it's an awesome game.
Obviously, I can say Ohio State's been number 1 all year. Ohio State should easily breeze through this because Clemson, who have they played? They don't. But here's the thing. They're Clemson. It's Trevor Lawrence, and I'm talking about the quarterback showdown here. Trevor Lawrence has been quiet this entire season, right? Because he hasn't been the Heisman guy we expected him to be last year. Remember, people were saying that Trevor Lawrence should sit out this season. Sit out and just, rest yourself and you're ready for the NFL because you're going to be the number 1 overall pick for sure. Well, now Trevor Lawrence is an afterthought with the Joe Burrows, with the Jalen Hurts and all those guys. He's kind of an afterthought. So I'm curious to see if Trevor Lawrence can go back to what he was last year in the playoffs and put the team on his back.
I find it interesting. I had this conversation with a buddy of mine this morning, talking about Ohio State versus LSU and who got the number 1. And as a Big Ten homer, I would say it pains me because I hate Ohio State so much, but I would say that Ohio State probably deserved it. Now, I said to him the same thing he was complaining about, and I said to him, well, they're going to have to beat Clemson and probably LSU either way in one order or the other. So what difference does it make? He said, well, yeah, but you'd rather face just, the 1 and the 5. I said, yeah, you want, whatever. To me,
that's
this
what
is going to be
I think it's overplayed.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. It really doesn't.
We just love rankings, so we love to debate about rankings.
But to your point about Clemson, they haven't played anybody. I mean, they almost lost to North Carolina this year. But I look at it like we don't really know how. We say we don't know how good they are. We don't know how bad they are. We don't know much about them because they haven't played a great team. There's an entirely good possibility that they can up their game. I mean, it's Dabo Swinney, for heaven's sakes. They could bring it to Ohio State's level and give them everything they want and more.
They deserve every benefit of the doubt, given the fact that they've rolled and they've won and they're undefeated and they're playing really good football, dominating football. I think they've won 6 straight games by 30 or more. I mean, and yes, they haven't played in a tough league, all those things. That's not their fault. I do think we measure a team. I like to measure a team more from their wins than their losses. In college football, that can be very difficult to do. And I think Clemson falls into that, but I don't sleep on Clemson at all. They know how to win this time of year. Dabo has proven to have his teams ready to win this time of year, whether you're playing Alabama or anybody else. And to me, they're the preeminent. They are the program right now in college football in the last handful of years because they're 2-2 with Alabama and they're back in the dance. And so Alabama's not in the dance right now. So he knows how to win big games. To me, it comes down to, do you know how to win big games? For a lot of coaches. And Clemson has proven they know how to do that. And I mean Dabo. Because I think it's hard, man. It's when you have 3-4 weeks off and then you've got to get ready for these games. I think it's a very difficult thing to do. This isn't just rolling into next week. And that's hard enough. But when you take this kind of time off, you have to know how to manage that. It's not all these teams have kind of been through that before. I guess minus LSU, but the program has. They'll lean on some people. So LSU will have to manage some of that. They'll have to manage Burrow winning the Heisman Trophy and coming off that week and all those things. That might be the most challenging thing about the Final Four, in my opinion, and about championship football and college football, is that 3 to 4 week stretch where you got the holidays, you got the Heisman Trophy, you've got awards, you've got everybody talking about you, you've got practices where you don't want to overdo it, but you got to do enough. I think it's a really tough thing to manage. But my point is, Dabo Swinney knows how to manage it. Lincoln Riley has not figured it out yet, right? I think, or in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I think, is 0-3 in the Final Four. They have not necessarily figured that out. Ohio State traditionally knows how to do it, but Ryan Day's new at it. So just think from a coaching perspective and the newness and kind of the inexperience. Holy cats, Dabo Swinney is like, he feels like a 35-year-old guy, but he might as well be a 70-year-old Bill Belichick in this kind of situation with his experience the last 4 years.
But at the same time, we got to remember what LSU right now lacks in experience in this college football playoff. They make up for who they played to get there.
Absolutely.
Right? They have the experience of playing Florida. They played Alabama. They played Auburn. They played Georgia. I mean, some real solid teams.
I think Ohio State falls into that category too. Penn State, Michigan, Wisconsin a couple times.
But to be fair, I think LSU is on a different plane.
They might be, but the resume shows that.
No, you're right. I mean, they played some tough competition as well.
It's a 1-2, and I think it's a flip of the coin of who's 1, who's 2, in my opinion. It really is. And ultimately, we'll probably get a chance to see them play, which it would be what everybody's probably hoping for, minus Clemson
and
fans.
Really, Oklahoma got in the Final Four because they beat Baylor twice. I mean, they are very much.
Yeah, if Alabama beats Auburn, Alabama's in there, right? They're in there.
And I'll be honest.
Maybe. Probably. Yeah, maybe.
And I'll be honest, Oklahoma's, you want to talk about the wins? I was not impressed with Oklahoma win. Anytime you let a third-string quarterback, and I don't care how good he was when he came out of high school, I don't care. All right, he was a third-string quarterback, and Baylor took you to overtime.
Is 2 for 2 for 161 yards pretty good, though?
That's what I heard.
His first 2 passes, how about that? Yeah. Incredible. You know what else I was taken aback by a little bit, and maybe the history has shown this, but getting thumped if you make it to the championship game, you don't get penalized. Think about the teams that lost. They didn't lose it. Like Georgia got thumped. They went down to number 5. So they go to the Sugar Bowl. Now, there's a lot of jockeying, though. Wisconsin ends up losing. You could say Penn State go ahead of them and goes to the Rose. No, didn't happen. They didn't get penalized. And I don't mind that. I think they clearly stated it. And I don't know if they actually, I don't watch a college football playoff show enough on Tuesdays to say, hey, we're not going to penalize these teams. But what they proved is they're not going to penalize teams that make it to that extra game, even if they get blasted.
Yeah.
Because
you're saying Georgia could have dropped below 5.
Well, I think a lot of people wondered on that night as LSU continued to pound Georgia, would Florida pass Georgia?
Absolutely.
And even though the head-to-head went to Georgia, I think people wondered, would Penn State, who has a pretty nice resume, pass Wisconsin, who now has 3 losses? Penn State, I think, only has 2, right?
Correct.
Pretty sure. So would that? But it's just an interesting deal. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I just think it clearly stated. It's almost like you might as well put it as a footnote in the rules.
Right.
If you make the game, we're not dropping you down to 14.
Right.
You know, so they didn't do that.
And let me ask you this. I mean, because the first quarter of that Badger Buckeye game, there was some indications that, wow, Ohio State might get blown out here. Like, I mean, that's where the momentum was.
Well, you wondered about Fields there for a second, didn't you? Like, okay, it's a really big game.
Yeah. But my question to you is, let's say Wisconsin came out, shocked the world, and, blew the doors off the Buckeyes, beat them pretty handedly. Does Ohio State still make the playoff no matter what then?
I wanted to see it happen. The only thing, and I would say, I wanted to see it happen mostly because a lot of people, I think like Peter Burns, he's an SEC guy, and it, what bugs me as a neutral guy, is, and I kind of tweeted this, I said it's like watching the election as a guy in the middle. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, and you watch MSNBC and you watch Fox, and you can't. It is what it is, right?
Sure.
It's Democrat, it's Republican. Well, if you watch SEC football, then everybody's like LSU needs to be number one. If you watch the Big Ten Network and Gus Johnson, everybody was like, well, it's like, can we just make a decision based on like what we really feel like, not our affiliation?
For sure.
Like, can we do this?
And if you're the Pac-12, we'll see you next year.
Yeah. But my point in that is I think it was Burns who had been saying these last few weeks, well, everybody says we need expansion. Well, we don't, because this was like it was a quarterfinal, and this was well, the thing that would have upset that is if one of those 3 undefeated teams had lost, because then you can't argue that. Right. You can't argue that this was a semifinal game to get to the championships or the quarterfinals to get to the championships, because if Ohio State had lost it and still made the Final Four, which I believe they would have, well, then that doesn't happen in a bracket play.
That's the chaos
So
theory
I was
right
waiting
there, man.
for a little bit of that to happen, but there was nobody deserving ahead of Ohio State because everybody had 2 losses.
Correct.
Right, you just said they're not penalizing people for getting to the final championship game and then losing,
but
right?
That's really why I wanted someone to lose. I wanted Clemson, Ohio State.
Yeah.
LSU would have been a little bit different in that, but I wanted one of those to lose just to see what they would have done with it, and that would have, I think, helped us get to a playoff quicker. See,
yes, I agree.
Every time these things happen, it falls in the lap of the committee. Like, this is perfect. Like, you can't argue this. The 4 teams earned their way into the Final Four, and you can't even argue it.
It took care of itself.
So the more we have that happen, which we've had happen quite a bit, there hasn't been a lot of controversy. That's the longer we get to an 8-team playoff. We're not getting there, or a 6-team, or however much you want. But the more it happens like it did this year, where it just falls into the puzzle piece, the less likely we are to have an 8-team. And so I want to see the 8-team. I want to see a 6-team or 8-team or something like that. So I thought this was a bad year for that. But Ohio State losing would have benefited that a little bit.
True.
Which is what I would like to see. What you got coming up tonight, John?
All right, listen, you guys remember early last month, early November, do you remember when that car blew through the T intersection over San Pablo and went through a fence and then went into a house and through a house and ended up in the front yard? So they started in the backyard of the house.
Didn't hurt anybody.
Didn't hurt anybody. There was a couple inside, and miraculously they were not badly hurt, and ended up in a yard sale in the front of this house, right? You could see through the house to San Pablo. Incredible, right? Guess what?
Happened again.
Happened again
Same
to the
house
next door.
Oh, my goodness.
The house next door. So these folks have been, there have been a number of wrecks at that intersection, as you can imagine. And so now folks are like, when is our house going to get hit? So we're looking at that. We're talking to the city about what could or should be done. But it's ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that, and so you got to see the video of this, the show, the pictures of it and stuff. That'll all be on Action News Jags at 5.
If you're on that street, you better start burning some sage or something like that. Try to get that bad juju out of there, man.
Do you try to put some concrete barriers up in there? Guardrails? Guardrails might help.
Use the sage,
I would do something like that perhaps before the sage, but that's just me.
Okay. Or people stop driving into houses.
That too.
Well, how about that as a fix?
Yes, but you can't. What is the adage? You can't change stupid or something like that. I mean, it happens.
You can't fix stupid.
You can't fix stupid. And then we have an update on the Creekside sickness saga. Some more kids out today now. Again,
there were?
Yeah, another
I thought that was fixed.
200. Well, depends on who you talk to, and again, how many of these kids are actually
John really wants that trophy, though, I think. John just really wants that trophy.
Yeah, that's it. No, because Bartram had 600 kids out on, was it Friday or Thursday?
Yeah,
Friday, it was bad. Friday,
so do you think kids are looking at this and being like, oh, yeah?
I think they've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's what I think.
Some are definitely taking advantage of the situation. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. So we check in on that. See what the district's doing, and I'll give you all because I know everybody out there wants to know the Bartram girls soccer update. They went down and lost to Montevideo this past weekend. Now, Montevideo,
good program.
Monteverde. I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. Whatever it is, it's a really really nice private school down in Lake Apopka area, and they beat Bartram every year, and they did it again this year. But They have a Jamaican player for the national team, the Jamaican national team that actually played in the World Cup.
Really?
In high school?
So the Bartram girls were playing against a World Cup player. How cool is that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So
all right.
anyway,
So
that's it. That's all I got.
I got something for you today.
Yeah, hit
Since
me.
you have daughters, I started my day off today with Kaylee. It was playing some game, like some word game on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says, it's like, seriously, like this, I hadn't even said like hello. It's like, Dad, what's a romantic word that starts with S?
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Snuggle.
There you go. That's a good one.
Good call, Coos.
That's what it
Is
was?
that what you came up with, Brent?
I did decline to answer.
Was it
I said,
Snuggle?
I've got to go brush my teeth.
Was it Snuggle?
I don't know what it was. I think she kind of probably figured out what it was because she stopped asking. Like, so
It didn't rhyme with hex or something.
Hey, yeah. Or I was going to say, was it 3 letters?
Are we going to get some cell phone monitors on these phones?
I
What
don't
kind
know
of
what
games you guys
Steph's doing.
playing at that house, man?
That's just bad parenting.
You better nip that
So
stuff
you're
in the bud,
blaming it
Brent.
on Steph.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
She's on with him all the time.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
That's
I can't
like
control this.
Brent is refusing to take responsibility. It is what it is. Bad culture, Brent. Bad culture.
Don't fire me.
Maybe you're not at home enough to model the good behavior, Brent. I'm just saying.
That might be true, too.
Man.
I blame
Snuggle.
Steph.
Snuggle's a very good answer.
I think everybody should snuggle.
Snuggle. All right.
We come back. We get back to the NFL. What crazy NFL.
Yeah.
A lot of snuggling going on in the NFL.
Wow.
And on
Check
that
out
note,
John
hey,
tonight.
John Bachman, thanks for the left side, by the way.
You're
dude.
very welcome.
Yeah, that's
Little
right.
Norwegian treat from Mama Bachman.
Awesome.
She was in town this weekend for a couple of performances by my daughters, and she said, "You want to make some lefts?" I said, "Yes."
That's so
Make a
awesome.
little extra for my buddy Austin, please. And
Brent,
she
sorry I
did.
didn't get any because you're talking crap about it. It is what it is.
I've got
Enjoy your
combos.
gummy bears. Yeah, enjoy your
Yeah,
gummy bears.
that's right.
Don't forget to snuggle while watching John tonight on
Wow.
CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Yeah,
on
hey,
Action
I don't
News
care what you do,
Jags.
just watch. That's fantastic. Thanks, guys, for having me.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Another miserable day to be a Jags fan as the home team was blown out by the hapless LA Chargers 45-10. Minshew didn't have enough magic and there wasn't near enough defense to stop Austin Eckler and Phillip Old Man Rivers. Although Minshew might have the answer to the problem.
Those other games that we played and we played good and we won, so maybe we'll try to play good more and play bad less. So
College football, the bowl games have been announced. It's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl for Florida State, the Orange Bowl for number 9 UF, and All-State Sugar Bowl for Georgia. The entire bowl schedule available at ESPN690.com. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus with locations throughout the First Coast. There's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This Christmas, Beards Diamonds is giving you more sparkle.
With 20% off everything in their massive showroom, including loose diamonds.
So now you can go bigger on her ring, bigger on her necklace, bigger on her earrings.
Because Beards Diamonds is giving you an extra 20% off everything, including loose diamonds.
Nobody in the town center does that. Plus, you get special financing.
Now through December 24th in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. If you're one of them, either can be embarrassing, but they're both very treatable. Fortunately, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call Prime Men's Medical Center, 904-206-8105. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or there's no charge for your consultation. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
For families worried about making ends meet, we are here. For those struggling with depression, we are here. We're also here to protect kids in crisis, assist students, and help our seniors. We're Jewish Family and Community Services, and we've been here offering support to people of every age, race, and religion for more than a century. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for all, here for JAGS. Learn more at hereforjags.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Thank you for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Everyone is loving our in-depth coverage of the Jaguars, the NFL, and all things sports. Another thing our listeners will love, your business. Let's work together and get you on the fastest growing sports station in Northeast Florida. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 904-245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
I'm Dr. Eric Kim at the Heekin Clinic. I've dedicated my career to helping eliminate joint pain many patients suffer every day. At the Heekin Clinic, we use the most advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques, including robotic-aided knee replacement, which has produced outstanding results for our patients. I'm excited to be part of the Heekin Clinic team and look forward to helping the patients in Northeast Florida live a pain-free life.
The Heekin Clinic, complete orthopedic care specializing in total joint replacement. Visit HeekinClinic.com for more information or to set up an appointment.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
Fact. About half of all men will experience ED or PE. Fact. Both ED and PE are highly treatable. Fact. A safe, effective treatment is just a call away. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our highly skilled doctors guarantee results on your first visit, or there's no charge. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rabinski. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, the treatments at Prime Men's Medical Center work immediately, regardless of your age or medical history. You'll receive custom blended medications designed just for you. They're safe and effective with no pain and no surgery. Patients are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, the treatments are affordable.
Men, if you want to last longer in the bedroom, schedule a private consultation with the experienced physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
It's holiday time, so treat yourself to some golf or give the gift of golf. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. The Golf Club at Southampton is one of the most fun tracks to play in the area, and it's very affordable. It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 as well. Go to golfsouthampton.com for tee times, gift cards, and gift packages. There are 9 different options to choose from. It's the perfect gift. The gift of golf at Southampton this holiday season. Visit golfsouthampton.com.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the iHeartRadio app.
Obviously, the season just ended. Our goal was to go to the SEC championship.
Welcome back, everybody. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Man, a lot to get to. We didn't even mention yet the Florida State head coach situation, Mike Norvell. Listen, I mean, there's not a ton to say. I like the hire. I think it's a good hire. It's not Bob Stoops. It's not James Franklin. It's not. They made a lot of people rich and more happy in the places they are. That's how coaching cycle works. I think Norvell's going to be good. I like it for Florida State. 38-year-old guy brings some energy, and see, that was my problem with Willie.
He has some swag too a little bit, which I appreciate.
He actually feels like I said this before, and Florida State, Florida fans will know this way more than me. You've lived it a lot longer, but think about in the history of the programs as they've gone head to head, and that rivalry, and there's always what's the other guy doing, and that's the beauty of it. But think about it more recently, and Bobby Bowden was like this gentleman guy, right? You want to wrap your... It's hard not to like Bobby Bowden. He's just a really good man. You love listening to him talk. Then you get the Steve Spurrier, who really wants to jab you, and you talk about a swag, right? He brought the swag to Gainesville. He changed the entire football program around.
Yep.
But they didn't... that wasn't... They weren't the same styles, is my point. So you had Bobby Bowden, that almost grandfatherly guy. Even when he was younger, it felt that way. And Steve Spurrier, who was just jabbing all the time with the fun talk and not afraid of a microphone, all that stuff.
Sure.
Well, then you flip over to Urban. And Urban, again, this is the tail end of Bobby Bowden. And Urban is just this arrogant, I'm going to rip your throat out and I'm going to do anything I can to win guy. So the style's totally different still, Florida State, from a coaching perspective. Well, then you go through all these other changes in the last couple of years. You get Jimbo Fisher now, and Jimbo Fisher more is a little bit that snarky, arrogant type on the Florida State side, while Florida has like Jim McElwain and Will Muschamp, who can't get out of their own way, at least at the times while they were in Gainesville, so they really don't even have much of an identity, and you don't have that swagger because they weren't winning games.
Yep.
Well, now you welcome in Dan Mullen, and Mullen does have a swag to him. He's got this arrogance level to him. He's got that, and I don't say that in a bad way, by the way. I'm just saying that's what he brings to the table. You got to get that back, that swagger back in Gainesville. Willie Taggart was about as unassuming and quiet as you could get. So they were polar opposites as he comes in the same time against Dan Mullen. Well, that doesn't work. Well, my point of this whole story is now it feels like Florida and Florida State kind of have similar coaches. I don't know if people agree with me or not, but I think it is. I think Norvell brings that swag.
Sure.
He'll bring that arrogance. And that partly is because he's an offensive guy. Offensive guys have this arrogance to them.
Yeah.
But I sense there's a little bit of that with him that might match Mullins. This could be fun to watch, especially if he has some success, and we could finally get a little bit of a back and forth in this rivalry where both teams are good again. But I think the styles will be really an interesting clash from Tallahassee to Gainesville.
Speaking of swag, have you seen the picture making its rounds about when he was in college?
Yeah. Cornrows.
He's got the cornrows, dude. You want to talk about swag, man? Insane, But yeah, I think. Listen, from the perspective of the other guys that were candidates, I get it. Stoops was kind of the big name. They didn't land on him. Lane Kiffin, I think, was being thrown on a little bit. He goes to Ole Miss. I think all things considered of what you had at your availability, I think this is going to be a good, it's a good bringing in here. And we'll see. I mean, I thought Taggart was going to be a great signee, and we saw what happened there. But I think from a standpoint of the culture, of the enthusiasm that guy brings, where I don't think he's afraid to get in your face a little bit. I mean, I watched a little bit of the Memphis championship game, and he was adamant on the sidelines, man, and that's something that you don't really see from Taggart that much. So from that perspective, I think it's a great signing once again, and I get it. You don't want to underplay it, but the swag factor, man, like bring a little swag to FSU, and I think he's going to do that.
Yeah, I like the hire, and I will say this, and this is not a hindsight. I think if you go back and find tape of me saying, it's not that I hated the hire of Willie Taggart, but I certainly questioned it.
Sure.
And I questioned it just like I did Dan Mullen. And my question about both gentlemen, I didn't think it would go this bad for Taggart because I thought he would recruit. And if you recruit enough and you have horses, you're probably going to win enough games. So that's kind of the way the game works. But I thought Mullen would win games, 9, 10 games. And we'll see this about Mullen, see if I'm right or wrong. I thought he would have the problem winning the big games.
Of course.
I didn't know if he could.
History has shown that he's done that.
Yeah. And I think, again, you're talking about Spurrier. You're talking about Urban. And I'm saying, will he be the likes of that? He's going to have to win some big games. I think it's fair to question even a Kirby Smart right now after what they've done in some of the SEC championship games or in that championship game. What we just said about Dabo Swinney, right now he's the hot coach because he knows how to win those games. I think his experience in this Final Four will pay off because he knows how to get his guys ready. Urban was so good at that. So good at that. And the great coaches are able to do that. Nick Saban, of course, at Alabama. So it's one thing to get you there. But for these fan bases, for these kind of programs, what they've been, it's about winning the whole thing.
Of course.
And so Mullen it surprised me he's done this quick. He's done a fantastic job. But my question is, can he go from here to the next step?
Yeah.
And that's what I had right from the start on him and Taggart. I thought Taggart would win more games than he did. But I didn't know how great of a coach he was. And I did question whether he could take them all the way back to where Jimbo had him and Bobby Bowden had him. So I wasn't like, yeah, this is a great hire for Florida State when Willie Taggart. And I did say this even back at the time, and I think this is the way it works. They had hit on Bobby Bowden for 40 years, and they had hit on Jimbo Fisher for almost 10 years. The trend in Murphy's Law said they were going to miss on a coach sooner or later. You can't get them all right.
Yeah.
And so I think they did miss. Now, the biggest thing, and Florida got into this problem earlier this decade, is you can't miss twice. And God forbid you can't miss 3 times. But you can't miss twice because that sends you into a spiral that's really tough to get out of. Florida State missed once in a 2-year period, and they feel like they're in a spiral.
Yeah.
Part of that is because Jimbo kind of quit on them, I think, in their last year. But can Norvell be the guy? Can he be the right guy? And I love the trade I keep hearing about him. I think I've said this before. I think some of the best CEOs, coaches, leaders, whatever, are really organized people. I just think it's the way it happens. And the word on the street is he is extremely, like one of the most impressive traits he has is organization.
Sure.
And he runs it like a CEO. And if he has that trait, I think he's got a really good chance to be successful. I like hearing that if I'm a Florida State guy. It sounds kind of silly. You've kind of figured all of them are.
Yeah.
But if this guy's like next level on that front, I think that really helps. Sure, he knows football. He'll be able to recruit all those things. But he knows how to run a program, and he did a really nice job of it at Memphis. I think they'll be better off because of it.
Yeah, and we're talking about Dan Mullen, and then you're talking about Willie Taggart. I've said it before on the show. I was all about getting Willie Taggart. Like, I was like, if you're a Florida State fan, you got to be excited. If you're a Florida Gator fan, it's Dan Mullen. It doesn't really knock your socks off. It's just kind of, it's like vanilla ice cream, right? Like, we'll take it. But obviously I was wrong, and Dan Mullen's proven so far to be a pretty good signing there. I think with what you've done now is that you've created the buzz again, and for my opinion, and I get he comes
new
from
coaches do that.
Yeah, the new coaches do that, but I'm saying, see, Dan Mullen didn't do that for me when he went to Florida. I was just kind of like, whatever.
That's
but to me, like with Norvell, yeah, I get it. Memphis is a smaller school and whatever, but I think just his attitude, his enthusiasm, and like I said, Brett, I can't say enough. His swag, I think he's got it all. So I think if you're a Florida State fan, you should be pretty intrigued by everything. No, you have to hire the right guys around him as well, and he has to bring in his own people, and that has to do well as to be fair as well. But all things considered, they made a good start with the head coach.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be a really good hire. We'll see if I'm right on this one, but I like the hire a lot.
Sure.
And he's already grabbed the offense coordinator from Auburn. And Odell Hagen's Florida State just announced, even though I think everybody knew, that he has been named the first assistant on Norvell's staff. So Hagen's is staying on board.
That's smart.
At Florida State.
That's
they
smart
love him
because,
there.
he has history there. You know, I mean, it's kind of like at Orgeron, right? Like Orgeron had history in LSU.
Yes.
You see how that panned out for the Tigers.
Absolutely. By the way, TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, I think finally they got themselves a game. And I know Indiana, Tennessee doesn't say like, ooh, I can't, Indiana. But Indiana, I'm telling you, man, they are excited, and they might make the trip down. That will be a good ticket. They'll be watching up there. And Tennessee is a big, obviously, draw. And they feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
So, listen, it's not unbelievable, huge, but it's a nice game here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that this month, 75th anniversary of the Gator Bowl. But I do think it's a good getting Tennessee against Indiana. Back to the NFL, I promise, next on ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. One of the elite free agent pitchers is off the market. ESPN's Jeff Passan reports World Series MVP Steven Strasburg and the Nationals agreed on a 7-year, $245 million contract, highest deal ever for a pitcher. Bengals coach Zach Taylor says the NFL's investigating whether somebody from the Patriots was videotaping the team's sideline during yesterday's game in Cleveland. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the incident involves a Patriots scout being filmed while working for a team feature. Video crew credentialed by the Browns. There was a lack of communication with the Bengals. New England at Cincinnati on Sunday. The incident raises some eyebrows because of the Patriots' past, notes ESPN's Dan Graziano.
In 2007, right, the Patriots were found guilty of filming the Jets sideline from an illegal location. They were docked a first-round draft picks. There's no indication that that's what's going on here based on what we're learning right now. But any team asks for an investigation involving a potentially nefarious videotaping situation, the league would have to act.
X-rays on the injured passing hand of Chiefs quarterback Pat Mahomes were negative. He should be able to play this week.
Dodge's gift to you this holiday is Employee Pricing Plus. That means everyone gets the same price as employees on a new Durango. So hurry into the Dodge Big Finish event today.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Pros, start with Lowe's for the brands you rely on every day, like A.O. Smith and SharkBite. Lowe's is the only place you'll find A.O. Smith Signature Series water heaters. From point of use to 100-gallon capacities. Whatever size the job, you can count on us to have what you need. Plus, the Signature Series now includes gas and electric tankless models. Make your next plumbing job easier and save time by choosing from our full assortment of SharkBite push-to-connect fittings. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's, U.S. only.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
The Jaguars season has been so horrible that I am so ready for 2020 to get here. I am ready for new coaches. I'm ready for some new players. I'm ready for new everything. I mean, this franchise, to me, doesn't give a dang.
More calls from Star 690. Everybody upset on a Monday, and rightfully so. I can't. The building is just a bad place to be right now, too. It's just so bad. Winning and losing in the NFL is so bad. Winning and losing everywhere. I kind of think about it sometimes. Say the Orlando Magic have had some awful seasons, right? Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is it's an 82-game season. I mean, that's a long year. Yeah. And so quick. You start off 2-12, and you're like, oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. We got 68 more of these games.
Yeah. Or even in baseball. We have a bad baseball team.
I mean, the NFL drags on that long, but there always feels like there's some hope until, maybe 6 weeks to go, like the Jags. I mean, the Jags are kind of some years, like Cincinnati and Miami, and you'll have teams like that. But what we always say, it's not built like this. It's not built to get beat by 17+ in 5 straight games, especially when you were a 4-4 team with everything in front of you. And really, what magnifies things for me about the Jaguars this year is just how well other teams are doing with similar rosters. And maybe not even as good a
maybe
rosters.
Worse rosters, Brent. Let's be fair here.
Mike Tomlin, we've talked about it. What a job he's doing coaching. Yeah, you know what? They beat Arizona by 6. Arizona's not very good. I think they've now lost 6 in a row. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. They won the game.
At Arizona.
With a third-string quarterback and nobody else on offense.
Well, I mean, don't undersell it. Let's keep in mind they lost their star running back, 2 years ago in Bell. They lost their best receiver in Antonio Brown. They were a mess. They're literally coming off those 2 big, things. James Conner's been hurt. The running back that replaced Le'Veon Bell has been hurt. They're coming off all those things, Brent, and they're still winning football games with a third-string quarterback.
And then I'll go to teams that were left for dead. Denver. Mm-hmm. Again, they've played 3 quarterbacks.
Yep.
Cincinnati, they've played 2 quarterbacks. Well, Miami, they've played 2 quarterbacks. The Jets, they've played a couple.
Cincinnati's still 1-12 though. But I mean, I get it. They've won 1 game. But
they've won 1 game, but they're competitive, man.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, my point is they're not getting blown out by 20 a week.
Good point.
They were in that game against Cleveland yesterday.
Yeah.
The Jets and Miami, they're both not good. I'm not saying I want to be them. Mm-hmm. That's not the goal. But what I'm saying is those teams are making the Jags look really bad.
The Tennessee Titans looking the Jags look pretty bad now, too, because that's the team that you model after. And now, hey, Brent, let's be honest, because the middle of October, I said when Ryan Tannehill came in against the Chargers and won that game, I said you better watch out for the Tennessee Titans because they look like a different team with Tannehill at the helm. And you said you're not worried about the freaking Tennessee Titans.
I'm not.
So now we're sitting here in December. We're
hate the Titans.
14 games into the season or 13 games into the season, whatever it is. Are you believing the Tennessee Titans now? Do they have your attention?
They do have my attention.
He's so stressed. So stressed rubbing that neck. I appreciate it, yeah. But you're stressed about it.
I hate them.
Yeah.
And I hate them even worse now because, they're not – to me, I look at the Titans roster and I see – I would have told you 6 weeks ago that I think it's a worse roster than the Jags.
And I would agree with you.
But even if you want to argue and say, because they are better in spots than people want to give them credit for, they just don't have a lot of stars. Derrick Henry's obviously a good player, but they have some good offensive linemen. They can be tough. Their style of play, they have an identity all the time, win or lose.
Yep.
So some of those things, so they find ways. And so they're not like a putrid roster. but they're not far off, is my point, from the Jags roster.
Correct.
Fair enough? I mean,
Very
fair enough.
And then they play the same style of football, or at least they try to.
Well, they try to,
with the
except they do
Jaguars
it a hell
side.
of a lot better.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the hell style of football the Jags are trying to play.
Correct.
Other than against air.
Yeah.
They look like air. If they look invisible.
Sure.
But anyway, the Titans, to me, are like the one that magnifies this the most, because the Titans, what have they now won? 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8? I mean, they were back in. They were 3-4 or 4-4 or something like that back at the time the Jags were 4-4, and the Jags had beaten them. And look what they've done. And yes, you have to give a ton of credit to Ryan Tannehill. I think they've now scored 40 points plus in 3 games this year, and I think they've scored 30 plus points in 4 straight games. So they are doing. Derrick Henry's fantastic right now. His contract year. You know what? I think Derrick Henry won't get this. But you have to start to wonder if he's out all in the conversation for MVP. I mean, could you? I thought about that today. It sounds a little outlandish, right?
Sure.
And I get it. I mean, there's Lamar Jackson and there's Russell. I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP, but I would say
what he's been able to do to will his team to victories.
I would say with guys like Michael, like those fringe guys that nobody, they're not going to win it, but you'd put them in the conversation like the Michael Thomases of the world.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if a guy like, I don't even know what his numbers are overall, but I'm just telling you his impact on that football team and given the identity and what he said. I think he ran for 3 straight weeks, 145 yards plus. I don't think he got to the 145 yesterday. So, I mean, Derrick Henry's been unbelievable for them. So I guess that to me is the big, it magnifies it that it's Tennessee because I don't like Tennessee.
Well,
it magnifies it to me because their roster, I know for a fact, is not that much better than the Jags. So what it does to me is say, Mike Vrabel is out-coaching your ass here in Jacksonville in a big-time way, and that roster that's full of players that probably are just as good as you are outplaying you here in Jacksonville, too, to the tune of they've won 7 out of 8 or 6 out of 7, and you've lost 5 in a row, and they are now leading the division and probably the favorites to win the division after Houston got spanked by the Denver Broncos, which was crazy.
So listen to these numbers real quick. You talked about Derrick Henry being an MVP candidate, and when you said that, I was like, well, hold the phone.
I know. Everybody out there said it, too.
But check this out, though. Very interesting. As far as rushing touchdowns, tied for first with 13, tied with Dalvin Cook right now. And as far as rushing yards are concerned, second in the NFL with 1,243, only behind Nick Chubb, 1,281. Second in the NFL in rushing right now.
And Dalvin Cook, by the way, has been mentioned on that fringe MVP candidate guy.
Well, and so is Christian McCaffrey for a little bit until they started to falter.
That's right.
Yeah, and he's beating Christian McCaffrey.
Derrick Henry should be in the MVP conversation.
And I agree with you. And also Mike Vrabel, defensive-minded coach. There you go.
He is.
I'm just saying, I mean, I think we have to give credit to Mike Vrabel as well. I think he's done a pretty good job with what he was presented.
That's my point of this conversation. I mean, he deserves all the credit in the world. Again, they do not have, in my opinion, they've got let's just be very general and say the 16th best roster in the league.
Sure. And that may be generous.
It might be.
Yeah.
Now again, I said this last week, I think. I might have said it on TV, I can't remember. But Tannehill is doing exactly what the Jags hoped Nick Foles would do when he came back in at 4-5.
Yeah.
And Tannehill, whatever he took over now, whatever that is, he leads the NFL in passer rating. He has changed his career. He has changed the Titans this year. Now, the Jags the AFC South could get a little bit of a break, depending on how much you're a believer in Tannehill. You know what Titans are going to be forced to do is give him a contract.
Brinks truck time. Yeah.
Give him a contract. And it's still Ryan Tannehill. You know?
Yeah.
So I think going forward, that doesn't scare you. But I'm saying right now, he has done a tremendous job.
Sure.
And I think Vrabel and Tannehill deserve a lot of credit. And it just, again, I use the word magnify because these other places that I see playing pretty good football, competitive football. And then you have the Jags. There's nobody like the Jags just getting beat like they are.
No.
You know, I'd say the second most disappointing team right now might be the Colts because the Colts about 5 weeks ago looked like they were going to run away with the division.
Correct.
They were like 5-2 at one time, and they had winnable games. I think they lost to Miami or something.
Yep.
Right? And then Vinatieri missed the Pittsburgh kick.
Yeah.
So they went from being maybe a 7-2 team to a 5-4 team. Then they've lost 3 games in a row now.
6-7 right now.
So they, too, are very disappointing, I would think, considering where they were, about 6 weeks ago, much like the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's crazy. The NFL is so crazy that the Denver Broncos go in and thump Houston. I mean, wow, 31-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
But why can the Denver Broncos, they have every reason to not play good football? Derek Wolf's gone.
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb's been gone for a long time.
Yep.
Joe Flacco didn't work out.
Yep.
They were losing left and right. And they've rescued their season. Yet the Jaguars lose the 5th straight game by 17 points or more, not even in it. It's over at halftime. It's embarrassing. So, again, to me, it's more about comparing them to other teams and not the Ravens, not Seattle, not San Francisco, not New England, not those kind of teams. Compare them to the bottom feeders and look where this team is this year. And I don't know how that doesn't come back on the coaching and the culture and the building and all that stuff. It just has to.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the NFL is designed to have close games, right? Like, there's a reason when odds makers make their predictions, usually it's going to be like a 3-point, 4-point spread. Now, when the Patriots played the Dolphins to start the season, yeah, it was like a 14-point spread, and I get that.
They were big ones.
But now let's look at the Dolphins, 3-10 right now. And I made fun of South Beach Gary for saying that the Dolphins are going to have a better record than the Jaguars. I'm nervous right now, Brent. I'm shaking in my boots because it could very well pan out like that. It's just you don't see this. Like there are ebbs and flows in seasons. There's ups and downs all the time, right? Patriots got beat last night to the Chiefs and everything. That happens. But for the Jaguars to just take this landslide down, and when I say landslide, I'm being kind because the way they're getting blown out game after game.
It's an avalanche.
It is an avalanche, and you just don't see that. The NFL is not designed to do that. It's just, I don't know how to say it, man. It's crazy.
I would just say, though, if I'm Shad Khan, if I'm looking at this, that's, to me, a bigger red flag than anything. All these teams were in the same situation. Yeah, the Jags hadn't beaten anybody. Yeah, they weathered the storm of Ramsey and Minshew playing instead of Foles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they were in the same situation as all these teams and in a better situation than probably Pittsburgh at the time, Miami at the time, the Jets at the time, the Denver Broncos at the time.
Even the Rams. Remember when we asked the question, did Jalen Ramsey make a mistake by going to a team that's lesser than the Jaguars? We said, yeah, the Jaguars look pretty good right now. The Rams are kind of spaltering. Where are we at right now?
Good point.
Not even close.
So, and by the way, it's go time part of the year. We said that back in November. I mean, we knew that stretch. Yeah. But November football and early December football, that's go time in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I take a look at what I have, and I say that, and I weigh them against these teams that are in the bottom and where they've gone in the last month and a half and where our football team has gone, if I'm the owner. I'm just like, that drives me more nuts than anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that I couldn't keep up with. Listen, everybody knew at the start. Everybody had them 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, right?
Sure.
So nobody said this was a 13-3 football team, a 14-2 football team. Keep it real.
Sure.
So I don't mind if you don't compare them to the New Englands, the Kansas City Chiefs, to the Seattle, all those teams. That's fine. But when you compare them to the lower half, the lower third of the NFL, and what has gone wrong in these last 5 weeks, that's why I started the show today. I said, I just don't understand how we can be now at 5-16 on a Monday, and nothing has changed. Like, this is okay. It's okay to lose by 17 or more every game in the NFL. The Jaguars are the week of the college football season before rivalry week. They are the cupcake. Mm-hmm. They are the get-right game. They are the get-right game for the L.A. Chargers. Phillip Rivers was having an awful season. He's in a funk. He's playing bad. Well, they fixed that. You didn't have to play the freaking fourth quarter.
Brent, look at the Panthers. They lose their quarterback, the face of the franchise, in Cam Newton. They rolled a guy by the name of Kyle Allen, who I never even heard of until he came out on the field and started having some success. And they fire Ron Rivera. You know, they're 5-8 right now. You know, now
they've hit the tank too.
They hit the tank a little bit, but let's be honest, man. What they have at his disposal of as far as talent's concerned, yeah, it's the Christian McCaffrey show. But you lose Cam Newton, and they had some other injuries as well, and you fire Ron Rivera when you did. I mean, you're setting a precedent. And also, their GM, was it the GM that came out right after they fired Ron Rivera, went on Twitter and did like this live interview thing of why they're firing him, here's the direction we're going. And they're 5-8, Brent. And I get it, they're tanking, but it's not Jacksonville Jaguars tanking.
It doesn't feel like it, although they're in a bad stretch. Listen, there are a couple of teams in a bad stretch. They're in a bad way right now. Elsewhere around the NFL, real quick. Patriots, 2 in a row. I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're eating this up.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had to, rib the people back home a little bit. So on Facebook, I put – I didn't know how to phrase it at first, but I just said It's too bad the Patriots are complaining about a couple of bad calls. Fantastic. And they're like, so they sent me links.
Petty.
Yeah, they sent me links to the Jags records. Like, I knew it was coming, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're so pissed off in New England right now. They don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of things happening in New England. One, they didn't get calls, which for the first time in 2 decades, they didn't get a call yesterday in the game. And they should have, but they didn't get the call. The other thing is they can see it clear as day. Is whether it's Tom or the offense or whatever, they don't have the goods this year, and they know it. And when was the last time New England has said, my gosh, like, we don't even have a chance to win the Super Bowl? We're not good enough. We're just not good enough. This has been 7 weeks of this now. This isn't like 2 weeks. It's been 7 weeks where we're lucky probably to have a couple more wins than we already have.
Yep.
Or could have had losses. So I think it's hitting them, and I love it. And I hope it continues to hit them.
Yeah, right now they're sitting second place in the AFC. Still have the home field advantage until they get to maybe the final here with most likely the Ravens. We'll see. The Ravens, man, and Lamar Jackson. I think I get it. There's a couple weeks left in the NFL, but I think he cemented himself as MVP. I think he's that impressive.
Well, these next 3 weeks will play that out, though, because Russell Wilson's been very, very good.
But I think
just because he lost last night. I mean, again, my point is you're probably feeling a little bit more like that because of Russell Wilson was not great last night. Seattle wasn't great. But what if he is next week and Baltimore stumbles?
I'm just feeling like no one can beat Baltimore consistently. I mean, maybe the team gets lucky.
Yeah.
But I think Baltimore is the real deal.
I think you're probably right, by the way. I think Lamar it kind of like even if Russell Wilson, if you put their numbers against him and you want to make a case for him, I just think he's been like Mahomes was the talk of the NFL last year.
Correct.
Jackson has been the talk of the NFL this year, and I think it's going to go. It's kind of like the Heisman Trophy. Sometimes the Heisman Trophy, that's a little different this year, but some years you have the Heisman Trophy, and like by mid-October or late October, you're like, that guy's winning, that guy's winning. Well, then in November, his numbers fall off, and other people start to catch up, but they still give it to that guy because the narrative was set. The guy that had it won in October. Well, it kind of feels Lamar, people have been talking about him and talking about him and talking about him. I think even if the numbers do fall off a little bit, or if it's a loss or so, or if it's really close, I think people are going to lean and give that intangible to the new star of the league and give him the MVP. And by the way, well earned. I'm not saying giving it to him.
Well, it was an impressive win against the Bills, and I got to watch that game and. Listen, the Buffalo Bills are a tough team, and if I'm going to make any prediction about next season about a different team than the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to make this right now. I think the way the Buffalo Bills are going, I think they're going to copycat and try to be just like the Baltimore Ravens because they have the offensive guys to do it. The only thing they're missing right now is maybe 1 or 2 good tight ends. They have the kid from Ole Miss, the Knox kid.
Oh, yeah.
And he's good, but they need more tight ends. But I think if you look at Josh Allen, you look at the way their defense is set up, you look at the coach, be a defensive-minded guy, I think you're going to get another clone of the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's up, Stuart?
Jumping in. Can we talk about Hayden Hurst having apparently the highest speed of an offensive player for the Ravens on his long touchdown yesterday?
There you go. Did he really?
20.5 miles per hour.
Impressive
That
catch.
apparently was the highest speed all season for a Ravens offensive player. I think the best part, I don't know if you saw his tweet.
Yeah, and apologize for the celebration.
Oh, yeah, jump in the stands a little bit.
I guess apparently he headbutted a guy by accident.
Well, it was just like he was excited, man. He jumps to the stands and
he said he'll buy him a Christmas gift.
There you go.
Finally, they got the ball to him. I mean, Hayden's been frustrated because they got Mark Andrews and they have Boyle, but they have, really feeding Mark Andrews. Yeah. And Hurst is involved in playing, but just not catching a lot. So I think he had 3 for 73 yesterday in that touchdown. So good to see him have a game.
And hopefully that speed that he showed says, hey, maybe we can use this guy a little bit more.
I would think so. And again, tight end, we did this exhibition last week. And what I learned this decade is young tight ends don't blossom right away. Usually you're in the league for 3, 4, 5 years before you become like Pro Bowl tight end. I mean, I think the book had been written early because we always do that to players.
So Josh Allen's not going to be a Pro Bowler next year?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Noah Fant, though, man.
But no,
all aboard the hype train.
And Fant now is another.
Because what did I say, Brent? You cannot teach a 4-4. Did you watch him against Houston?
Now listen, I mean, they all have to do more. But aren't those? But isn't that a great illustration though of? Like we buried Fant. It's like, what a bust.
Yeah.
We've already buried Hawkinson. He hadn't made a big impact.
Yeah.
Now, we said that around draft time. Very few young guys come in and make an impact at the tight end spot. Mm-hmm. But now these guys are starting to come to life a little bit later on in the year. And I think, listen, I still think Hayden Hurst, you don't do those kind of things. You're not picked in the first round.
Sure.
Without having that potential. He's got a crowded room. That's some of the problem. I mean, shoot. the more and more you look back, and maybe the Jags should have made a run at him. Because they sure as hell could use somebody.
Of course. And that's the thing, too, is it's definitely a run-first offense as well.
And when I say make a run at him, I mean make a trade.
Move up a couple spots. Don't get Taven Bryan and get him instead.
And, not only if you're Hayden Hurst, are you the third-string option from a receiving standpoint, but you're also the third-string tight end. It is what it is, man. But I guess when he gets his opportunities, he's going to shine. But it's like I said, Brent, if you're a first-round guy and you have the speed, to me, the speed's the most important thing. I truly come from the philosophy, if you're going to be a draft pick, a first-round guy at the tight end position out of college, and maybe you're not the best blocker. T.J. Hockenson was, hyped up because he's a good blocker, he's a good receiver. I get that. But if you're a freak athlete, if you're like a Vernon Davis type where you can run a 4.4, man, you got a vertical, you can jump out of the combine, I think that's something special because eventually guys can teach you how to block, but they can't teach you how to run really, really fast.
Wish they could.
Right?
That would be good.
I'll try to make a comeback if they could.
You can't teach speed. You can teach people about tequila, like Vida de Luis tequila. It's happy hour horn time.
Can't make nobody come between us. Can't make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
As the careless party now begin, see the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes. Gangsters rolling, half face smiling. It's all about think of the rhythm, what you're drinking. Anything goes.
Grab a drink, get a shot, get another shot, take one more if you want it, and have one more. I'm sure you guys need it.
Sound advice.
Tip your star tenders.
That's about as good advice. Please don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Drink responsibility, but we all could use them these days. Be a lot of consumption in December.
Well, there's a lot of consumption last night, Brandon. I saw in the parking lot.
Oh, man. Vida de Luis recently got a 98 rating, so if you are going to consume, how about a little Vida de Luis, locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville. Made in Tequila, Mexico, shipped directly to Jack's Beach. Make your own recipes with Vida de Luis tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. VidaDeLuis.com, the place to go. We're going to take a time out. We come back, more Jags talk, a couple other NFL topics, too. NFL is wild and wacky. Let's stay in your lane. Maybe we'll drop in a Ballin and Fallin. Got to mention a pretty cool local story coming out of the weekend. Want to get that in. And anything to make some sense of the Jags or not talk about the Jags. That's my debate internally right now. I'll figure it out by the time we come back. Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy tonight. Mild temperatures for this time of year will only drop into the upper 50s to low 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
The holidays are on the horizon, and that means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brent Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or hey, maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, pasta dishes, everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you got to go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? It's not $16,995. Now it's only $12,481. That's $12,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington. Got to have a 2019 Toyota Tacoma? Now, it's not $24,575. No way. Now, it's just $28.91. Just $28.91 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington. Plus, you're going to get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyota-thon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
Pastor Mark Griffin and Wayman Ministries wants to provide a more joyous Christmas holiday to some children and families in our area. The 12th Community Christmas Fellowship will be Saturday, December 14th from noon to 2 p.m. at Wayman's West Campus Gymnasium at 1176 LaBelle Street. This event is free and open to the public. Enjoy holiday music, gift raffles, and the annual toy giveaway for every child in attendance. You can donate new unwrapped toys and gifts through December 13th at the Wayman South Campus or Wayman West Campus.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby Shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
If you're tired of wearing glasses or contact lenses, call Meta Vision at Florida Eye Specialist, 268 Eyes. They believe when it involves your eyes, you deserve the very best. Just ask golf professional Todd Bork.
I thought about LASIK for years, and I just finally got to the point where I'm getting older and I'm frustrated. I'm wearing distance glasses. Now it's raining, and that just doesn't work at all. I've tried contacts and failed miserably. Can't get them in and out of my eyes. So I just said, you know what? I'm not able to read the greens the way I think I need to. I want to do this for my golf and for myself. But I'm thrilled that I had it done. I can actually see to drive without glasses, and I can see the golf ball, and that's very important to me.
See why thousands of patients have chosen Meta Custom Vision and Florida Eye Specialist for their eyes. Call 268-EYES or online at metalaser.com. Hurry before your HSA or Flex spending accounts expire at the end of the year. Your eyes deserve the very best. Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialist. 268-EYES.
How much money is required to open a small business? Is your business generating enough cash in order to reinvest and sustain operations? These and many other questions face an aspiring or current business owner. Need help finding answers to these questions? SCORE is the nation's largest network of expert business mentors with approximately 10,000 volunteers and 300 chapters nationwide. In Jacksonville, SCORE has over 50 mentors available to meet privately with you. Go to jacksonville.score.org today to schedule a free appointment.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic and Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
I'm Dr. Eric Kim at the Heekin Clinic. I've dedicated my career to helping eliminate joint pain many patients suffer every day. At the Heekin Clinic, we use the most advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques, including robotic-aided knee replacement, which has produced outstanding results for our patients. I'm excited to be part of the Heekin Clinic team and look forward to helping the patients in Northeast Florida live a pain-free life.
The Heekin Clinic, complete orthopedic care specializing in total joint replacement. Visit HeekinClinic.com for more information or to set up an appointment.
Join Action News Jackson ESPN 690 for our annual toy drive. The toys you donate will help make a child's holiday brighter at Wolfson Children's Hospital. You can donate new toys at the roundabout in front of Maggiano's in the St. John's Town Center Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. For more info, go to the events page on ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You don't need to fire the coach or the coordinators. They're not the ones playing. The players are just awful. That's all there is to it. You got to get you some good, decent players. Doesn't matter how good your coaches are if the players stink.
Oh, that's all I got to do.
Finally, a guy that blames something on the players.
Fire all the. That was Brent last night. Don't lie and say it wasn't. Is that you last night calling in?
Yeah, that was me calling.
Bet it was. Yep, trying to disguise your voice a little bit. I'm on to you.
Little voice changer.
I'm on to you, man.
My voice is changing anyway.
I'm on to you.
Got a little starting to get it.
I got yes.
I jinxed myself last week.
Stay away from Creekside, and then stay away from us.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I go a little deeper here.
Got a little bass in your voice.
A little bass.
A little Marvin Gaye coming at you.
It was good because I was shooting the game down on the field yesterday, and I sent out a tweet at the exact moment when I was like, "This feels like about the time Brent Martineau will be tweeting out." Send in your calls to star 690 for your frustration.
You beat me to it.
I did. Yeah. I knew it was coming. Like, I've got to tweet this out.
Yeah.
And people agreed. They are frustrated.
I said my last tweet of the night last night was I have no emotion. And that's,
wow.
And that's the worst part. That's the worst place to be.
I wish I would have saw that one.
That's the worst place to be.
I would have had an emo gif so ready for you if you would have said that when I saw. Oh, man. I'm bummed I missed it.
You should stay up past 9 o'clock.
I do. I just don't go out on Twitter past 9 o'clock. Nothing to see there. But
it was like I was long in bed.
No, I was actually watching Frozen.
Oh, yeah. How was Frozen 2?
It was good, man.
Good.
Frozen 2. Still Frozen.
Great. Better than the first one?
No.
Okay, that's all I had to hear. Then we're not going as a family.
Did you take some nieces or nephews or something?
My girlfriend wanted to go, yeah.
Is Olaf going hard in that one?
Olaf, yeah, they really honed in on Olaf.
Oh, then maybe, okay. I'm intrigued again.
Will you go?
Probably not. My son hasn't really been talking about it, so it's more on him. I'm not going to go for my amusement. I'll check out some Disney movies and Pixar movies, but Frozen, to be fair, and I'm probably going to get some criticism here, never really did it for me.
No. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let It Go made Frozen.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
They really threw out a bunch of songs. Like, they went for it. They were trying to find that.
But that
it doesn't seem to have
that one stuck.
Like, this one doesn't seem to have that tune, right?
No, but they tried. They tried like 3 or 4 different ones.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Well, they should have just had Let It Go again.
Yeah.
Bring it back, a little remix.
Keep letting it go. Keep letting it go.
Lil Nas.
I was going to say, have a Lil Nas remix. Oh, Brent, people don't like making money, man. It's crazy, right?
It's unbelievable.
Me and you would be billionaires by now.
Why don't you do that, man? You'd be
Why
singing
don't I do that?
Yeah, we could have brought that all to that elementary school. They'd all be singing Old Town Road again.
Bringing it back. Oh, we're on the same page. That like a Brent for a Monday. I know.
Chemistry is working.
People don't like making money, I guess.
Here at Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. It's obviously not working at Jags headquarters.
Oh, dear.
I spit right there a little bit.
You're good, man.
I got a couple other things to get to. Screw the Jags for now.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm trying to be nice. I actually apologized to I saw some of the PR guys. I was like, I apologize for everything I'm tweeting right now. But I can't. I'm like at a loss.
Yeah. Well, how do you like being the PR guys?
It's best to tweet through your feelings.
Yes, you can't sugarcoat anything anymore, man.
How do you like being the PR guys?
Not that
right
I try
now?
to sugarcoat, but I'm just saying.
Is there any worse, least valuable job right now than being the Twitter guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Every single thing you tweet out, your ratio is just going to be broken.
Line. It's
Yeah,
just
that's true.
oh, here we go. Bring it on.
That's a
quick.
tough win.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, really, that's a very good call.
It's like, what a fake punt.
Give
and then
that person
replies.
a Nobel Peace Prize or something, man, because they're going through it right now.
We should check that. The reply, the tweets,
I check the replies just to see the hilarity.
Yeah. But the only thing I think you can tweet right now is the Pro Bowl vote stuff. So Lambeau hits a field goal and then bam, it'll be the Pro Bowl vote.
But even when they do that, the problem is they send out their joint one with all the guys on it.
Yeah.
And one of them is Linder. And then no matter how well-intentioned it was to put a little bit of everything on there, all the replies are I will not retweet this.
They've actually been pushing Linder?
Linder's part of their group one that they send out with 10 guys on it.
He does have the most stats out of any offensive lineman.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just holding penalties.
You know his name. It's not a good look.
A couple of things going on in the sports world. You know the name Peter Freites? That people, I think, kind of know the name. When I tell you the story, you'll know a little bit more. He passed away today, age of 34, ALS, battling Lou Gehrig's disease, and battled it for a while. Helped raise over $200 million for ALS, and very front and center in the battle against ALS. But the Ice Bucket Challenge was a big deal. That was a great initiative, and got so much awareness. You talk about an initiative that brings awareness to things, and they helped start that. And Peter Freites was part of it. I remember we did it actually. You challenge somebody else to do it,
of course.
And so we had Paul Posluszny actually dump the water cooler at practice.
Okay.
After the game,
didn't even affect him at all.
After the practice,
I'm sure you just embraced it.
Yeah, just embraced it. But those were kind of they made something fun for a good cause and raised a ton of money in the process, and that was a hot thing a few years ago. So he passed away, but what a legacy to leave, man! Raising $200 million for that dreadful disease, and hopefully they continue to find solutions to that dreaded disease. A couple other things going on. I actually watched an MMA fight.
I know. I'm proud of you, man.
Busted a lip. I was up. So I told the story off air, but Stuart tells me down in the sports office, he's like, hey, if you really want to Ballin and Fallin, you doing today?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. We don't sometimes get to it on Monday.
Sometimes, off and on.
But he said, if you want to impress Austin, I was like, first of all, I don't care if I impress Austin, but
as you shouldn't, man.
So, I don't know the names.
Expectations are so
throwing
low.
it out there.
I don't know the names of the guys.
Yeah.
So,
Alistair Overeem is the one who everyone knows now.
Yeah. And so,
it's also the easier of the two to pronounce.
And then it's Rosenstruck, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
But anyways, I knew the reference because he said the busted lip. Well, I actually stayed up and watched that fight.
Yeah.
Watched all 5 rounds of that thing.
Yeah.
And with 4 seconds to go, man.
Yep.
That was entertaining. That was straight out of Rocky.
Yeah. It was basically what you had was
Except it was MMA, but
yeah, for sure. No, it's same principles, and I'm glad you watched it, man.
Yeah.
I'm sending a tea over here for you. I didn't watch any golf, so sorry to disappoint you.
The one thing I'll say this about MMA, I'm going to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Here's the thing: even if I'm a very casual observer of MMA, the great thing about it is you can watch it in a half hour.
Sure. Yeah, especially like the main card
at most.
Yeah,
if you're just locked, I'm not watching 12 fights. But if I was watching just that one came on, I'm like, you know what? Before I go to bed, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will end in a minute. Sometimes it will be 3 rounds. But this one went the distance all the way up until 4 seconds to go.
Yep. So funny thing. So the odds for that fight to go the distance plus 2,740.
Really?
Yeah.
2 heavyweights. 2 knockout guys.
Artists. Yeah.
You expect that one not to, and it was 5 rounds too, because it was the main event, right?
Correct. Yep,
Even though it wasn't a
rounds.
championship event.
And so, but it didn't go the distance.
Didn't go the distance.
It did not.
No. So, well, I'm sure no one betted that. But
that'd be an awful bad beat. That'd be such a bad beat.
And you want to talk about how bad you feel for Overeem there, and the biggest thing on Twitter after it was, well, the ref shouldn't have stopped it. The fight should have kept going. There's 4 seconds left. I get that, but we got to remember what happened there. So Overeem gets knocked down, wasn't unconscious, that was clear. But when he got back up, he turned his back to his opponent and stumbled on the cage. And when you do that, the ref's going to see that and say, well, you know what? He can't defend himself. Yeah. I don't care how much time's left. You can't defend yourself. So unfortunately, I thought it was the right call. But at the same time, if Overeem just would have stayed down, because his opponent turned his back on him.
Time would have run out.
Yeah, but Wozniak turned his back because he thought it was a walk-off knockout, and it wasn't. So if Overeem would have just stayed down, put the ego aside, and I get it, it's hard, man, because when you get, and I've been there, when you get knocked down, same thing happened against Hardy, where you get knocked down, it's your natural instinct, well, I shouldn't be here. I got to stand back up as fast as possible. He got lucky. And when you do that, then you're susceptible to get hit again. And unfortunately, Overeem turned his back, and fight was called off. It's a bummer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's that could
the
be
picture. The picture though tells many words.
I guess we didn't even say it. He busted his lip. Like if you haven't seen it, like completely busted his lip.
Yeah. Like the gash ended up being like over an inch,
almost up to his nose.
Yeah, really. Like almost up to his nose.
It goes from his lip to his nose. And if you've ever bitten your lip before, ever had a canker sore, it hurts. Go ahead and expedite that by 100. Maybe 100 million, and that's how much pain he was in. He's still smiling, by the way.
Yeah, he's a warrior, man. Yeah. He's a warrior. I mean, he's had over 60 MMA fights, even more K1. We were talking about that from the old days. I mean, this is a guy who's been fighting his whole life.
How old is he?
I think he's in his 40s.
He's got to be in his 40s now.
My goodness. How long will that take to heal? Will he need surgery on that lip?
Yeah, that's a plastic surgery.
He's getting plastic surgery, for sure. Alistair Overeem, he's 39 years old right now.
There you go.
Wow. Can he retire, please?
Some people are just built like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Not to mention that as of October, he was 6th in the UFC heavyweight ranking, so he's still up
still
there.
Very much a
And
factor.
this was an up-and-coming undefeated guy who Rosenstruck who beat him. So
Well, he could pack a punch.
He can. But now, did you see Rosenstruck also called out Francis Ngannou?
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Careful.
He's coming off some good ones. He had like a 6-second knockout. He knocked out Arlovsky in under 30 seconds before this fight. So
that could
fighting a silverback gorilla. Be careful.
That could be Fallin. Ballin. I want to give a shout out to Flagler women's soccer.
Yeah, on
to
the Final
Four.
The
Final Four. We had them on last week. They
that was
won
fantastic.
Friday. They won Sunday. So they're going to Pittsburgh.
By the way, convincingly, 8-2 and 4-0 in their 2 games. They smoked those other teams.
No one said it had to be close, I guess.
No, I guess not.
So off to the Final Four for Flagler women's soccer program. Congratulations to them. By the way, Bowles plays in the state championship game on Wednesday. So we'll have more on that coming up in the next couple of days. We have one more segment to go. Maybe a little stay in your lane to start a Monday. Maybe. Yeah. If not,
go to the archives.
Talk about the Jags next on ESPN 690.
Through Travis Mallion Foundation's Operation Legacy service projects, veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians across the country come together under the common cause to serve in honor of our nation's heroes. Service projects include city beautifications, planting memorial trees, volunteering at shelters, park cleanups, and more. Register for a project near you or as a virtual volunteer by visiting oplegacy.org. That's oplegacy.org.
The holidays are on the horizon, and that means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brett Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or hey, maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, pasta dishes. Everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach.
It's a celebration you won't want to miss. The 75th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on Thursday, January 2nd, 7 p.m. at TIAA Bank Field. This year's matchup will feature a team from the SEC pitted against an opponent from either the ACC or Big Ten Conference. Let's fill the bank and pay tribute to 75 years of Gator Bowl history. Special anniversary offer includes 4 game tickets, a parking pass, and game program for only $75. Package is now on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you gotta go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. Now it's only $15,581. That's $15,581 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Gotta have a 2019 Toyota RAV4? It's not $22,925. No way. Now it's just $19,481. Just $19,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 XLE at Arlington. Plus, you're going to get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyotathon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
At Action News JAGS, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News JAGS First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News JAGS First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690.
If there was an award you can give a guy that has the fastest get off in the NFL, I would be campaigning for that award for Marcel Darius. It's not only the first step, Brent, it's also the hand placement.
Catch Brent and Austin weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
I'm NASCAR champion Kurt Busch, and you're listening to Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
It's about time to sell the team. Give everybody in Jacksonville $1,000 for emotional damages spanning at least 10 years. Make Jacksonville teamless again, 2020.
Not a good move, buddy.
$1,000, though.
Can you imagine not having a football team? I wouldn't like that. It'd be a tough show.
Would we leave markets? Would you change markets? That's the question.
Eventually.
Wrestling talk, then wrestling talk all the time.
No.
No, for me, you don't have to be here. That's fine.
That's all right.
I'll go ahead and take over.
Wrestling was here Saturday, wasn't it?
WWE was. Yeah. I didn't go. I was watching the Badgers game.
It was McIntyre versus The Fiend in a cage match for the main event.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go?
No.
Oh.
You're all in.
Buddies of mine were snapping it and Instagramming it and all that fun stuff.
I'm all in.
You're all in on All Elite Wrestling.
Oh no, I thought WWE too. Actually, I just got a WWE T-shirt. I can wear it tomorrow if you want to see it.
But that was a non-TV show, right?
It was.
Is that how that works?
It's called like the WWE main event. So yeah, it's they call it like a house show.
Yeah.
So they don't actually air it. You just, if you're a fan, you can go watch it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't know the results.
I got you.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to would I change markets? If I had to talk wrestling, yes.
More for me, that's fine. I'm just messing with you. Hopefully the Jaguars don't go anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. But people that call in like that on Star 690 say they would rather not be there.
To be fair, it's right after the game. It's right after the game.
You're emotional.
People were
Well,
emotional.
we want the emotions,
You even said you were like an emo kid and you didn't have any kind of emotion.
That's
like
true.
You were broken. We're all broken.
Well, we are broken.
We are broken.
But I want to try to fix it.
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to fix it? I have no idea.
Sure.
Still trying to figure that out. They've been trying to figure that out a long time. The only thing, I see a bunch of different things going around, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, people still believe it in Minshew, or people believe in Foles or don't believe in Foles, or people say it's the front office, people say it's the coaches. What all that says to me is you get feedback over these last month and wherever you go and people will give you different reasons, is it's time to not necessarily blow up the roster, but sweep it out and start over in terms of whatever you're trying to build. Because when you make it through an entire season and you don't have an identity, Well, something's broken.
Yep.
And so that starts top down, starts in that building. And then again, you're not going to get rid of all 53 players. And there are some good players, I believe, on this team, but you've got to find a better fit for those players. You say it all the time, right? I mean, you got to find the fit for the players.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's nothing that's working for the players right now. This fit certainly isn't working for these players, but it's all broken. And there's no denying that. And so I could hear 7 different problems and reasons for the problems, and y'all might be right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little bit here, a little bit there. And what it adds up to is a refresh, a restart in 2020. And that's why I'm convinced that's going to happen from the top down, from Tom Coughlin down. I don't think Tom Coughlin will be here to make those decisions. I'll be surprised if I'm wrong with that.
No, for sure. And listen, Brent, I think you said, I wish I had the answers myself, but unfortunately that's out of my pay grade. Now, if the Jaguars do want to pay me for those services,
more than $1,000,
I can offer some, expertise. Spoiler alert. We're going to be running the wishbone this year if you bring me on, okay? It's going to be running the wishbone, and when we go with the wide receiver sets of, wide receiver on one side, wide receiver on the other side, turn those guys into tight ends, okay? And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to win a lot of games that way.
I did say last night on TV, I said I would just hand the ball to Leonard Fournette every play of the remainder of the season because I think he's earned it.
Sure.
I don't want to see anything else. I want Leonard to get more yards and pad the stats. I'd like DJ Charco, though, by the way, if you heard today, I think I told you, but out on a scooter yesterday, leaving the locker room, says day to day, week to week, wants to play this week, according to the conference call with Doug Marrone. Not sure that will happen. You get into those kind of iffy situations. You got to be a little careful.
Long
when
flight
it doesn't
ahead.
Mean. So, but anyway, I'd like to see him get to 10 touchdowns. I'd like to see some of these guys get some marks. He's at 8. But he's been kind of quiet now these last few weeks because the whole offense has been. Yeah. So he had 75 yards yesterday, but just getting in the end zone's been pretty quiet. So you'd like to see these guys finish off the individual seasons that have been good. Calais Campbell jumped to number 88 now in sacks in history, which is pretty cool, almost into the top 50. One more will get him into the top 50 all time. So he knocks on the door of 100. I got to believe that's
kind of 88 got him to 51st.
51st.
Yeah. You said he was up to 88. But I put it together for him. Yeah.
I don't know. It's math, man. You're hurting my head. I don't know. You lost me. Don't look at me, Brent.
He's just outside the top 50 with 88 career sacks.
Hey, do you have stay in your lane?
I have stay in your lane.
I'm about to tell Weber to stay in his freaking lane.
Here comes the baseball bat. Relentlessness. What were the other words? Pursuit, and what was the other one? Passion, pursuit, relentlessness?
It sure isn't passion.
Oh, wow. Violent, physical, relentless. Missed it by that much.
Jeez. That was a memorable game for you.
I tried to forget it all I could, yeah. All right, Brent. So we got cruise control today. Going out to our girl, Megan Rapinoe, for getting Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. Obviously, a lady that was leading the head for equal pay in the world of soccer. She's a World Cup champion. So I think it's pretty obvious who they give that award to. My question to you is, the past 20 years, 2 other women have received the Sports Illustrated Sports Woman of the Year. Sports Person of the Year. Can you name them?
I'm going to say Serena Williams.
Obviously.
Obviously?
Well, yeah, come on.
I think it's a good poll, and you say obviously.
Well, yeah, obviously. Name the most dominant woman athlete of all time, Serena Williams. The other one's, I don't know if you get the other one.
Hold on. The other
I'll be pretty excited if you do.
I was going to say Annika Sorenstam, but it might be a swimmer.
Nope.
Or a gymnast.
Nope. It should be a swimmer, though.
I was going to guess Simone Biles as a good guess, but
a little clue here. It came from 2011, and they were co-winners here.
2011.
And the little another advice.
Is it Olympic sport? Was it Olympic based?
It could be, but it doesn't apply here.
It didn't apply. That's
and also, a little hint. So the people that got nominated for Sports Person of the Year in 2011, they come from the same sport and have the same position.
2011. We're talking probably basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So what basketball would have been like Holtzclaw or
Taurasi?
Rebecca Lobo?
What would it be then?
Lobo would have been way back.
College basketball.
Brittany Griner?
Nope.
No, that's too. College hoops. You
got it.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Pat Summitt.
Pat Summitt. Nailed it. I'm proud of you, Brent. Yeah, Pat Summitt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good
And the other one was obviously Mike Krzyzewski. So,
all right, good.
There you go. Pump your brakes. What was the pump your brakes? We have the audio there. Coos, pump your brakes real quick. Come from Baker Mayfield. It's been a horrendous season for the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield's going through it. And here's another example of talking about Odell Beckham Jr.
I'd say that, with wasn't handled right. He's not able to run as well as he should be able to, as well as he knows, and that's frustrating for him. You can sense that's some of his frustration where that comes from. So it wasn't handled the right way in our training room. So, it is what it is. And so not 100% is still good enough for us.
First ever interview press conference done in the shower.
Yes, that was Baker Mayfield talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and his groin injury, how the training staff didn't handle it well, and apparently they didn't give him the privacy to do it in the shower, or did not do it in the shower.
No, who's in the wrong? Okay, so the training staff maybe doesn't, but Baker Mayfield can't say that.
I need to hear some more stuff. I mean,
like he's trying to protect the player.
Here's what's happening.
Good luck getting your ankles taped next week.
Throwing your organization under the bus.
Here's what's happening, though. That physical trainer can't go out and run routes for Baker Mayfield, all right? So Baker Mayfield hears word that Odell Beckham might leave. He's trying to have his back 110%. Simple as that.
Jags Report live tonight at Topgolf, 7 o'clock on CBS 47. We'll talk more about the Jags and other NFL teams, I think. Have a good night.
Join Action News Jax and ESPN 690 for our annual toy drive. The toys you donate will help make a child's holiday brighter at Wolfson Children's Hospital. You can donate new toys at the roundabout in front of Maggiano's in the St. John's Town Center Tuesday from 7